Report. 50%. Chapter 1. Back, I don't want to be a teacher anymore. Until they parted. Feng Zixuan did not ask Suzy. Why is his territory so big? With such a large territory, how could he become a god? What? Worried about him. On the way back to Chengdu, Feng Judian looked at the sullen Feng Zixuan and couldn't help teasing. Where is it? Feng Zixuan came back to her senses, and when she saw the playful look in her sister-in-law's eyes, she immediately blushed. Don't worry, although I don't know what confidence he has, I can clearly feel that your worries, Aunt Qingying, are gone. With the potential of that kid Suzy, maybe he can really break the record. Feng Judian said slowly. She watched Wu Qingying rise all the way. At that time, she was rising among everyone who thought it was impossible. Born as an ordinary person, awakened the vermilion bird template. He crushed a group of aristocratic families and created countless miracles. And her apprentice, once in tens of millions of years, a strange lord of 127, will be encountered, and the strange plants will make people amazed. Really, that would be great. Feng Zixuan breathed a sigh of relief. After all, he is the first person to defeat himself. If he cannot become a god, he will only have 1,000 years of life. Before I became a god, I couldn't beat him. Then after becoming a god, fight to the death with him. This will be her lifelong belief. Oh, Feng Judian glanced at Feng Zixuan beside her, and suddenly had a bold idea in her heart. If you can't conquer him in strength, it can also be conquered in other fields. Over Qinghai City, go back and reunite with your teacher. After making arrangements for your teacher, come to Vermilion Bird to find me as soon as possible. I still have some things to explain to you. Wu Qingying didn't bring Suzy back to Vermilion Bird City, but put him in Qinghai City. In the past few days, she still needs to arrange various matters of Vermilion Bird's collar. Suzy nodded. He also happened to have some doubts that needed to be answered by the master. But now it is important to treat Ruyan Lu well. Farewell dance Qingying. Suzy summoned Xiao Wanqing from the territory. Different from the troops and heroes in the territory. Subordinate lords are allowed to appear freely in Blue Star. After all, they belong to Blue Star in the first place. Young master. After Xiao Wanqing appeared, Rong bowed slightly. We're back. Looking at the busy scene below, Xiao Wanqing couldn't help showing a smile. Well, you go home to reunite with your family first, and I will find you soon. Suzy expressed concern. Thank you, son. A touch of emotion flashed in Xiao Wanqing's eyes. After becoming a subordinate lord, everything belongs to the lord. Boom. Xiao Wanqing turned her head and looked around, seeing no one, kissed Suzy lightly on the face, and left quickly. Suzy smiles. I looked at the direction. Not far from home. Suzy looked at the direction, and disappeared in a flash. Rental house. Suzy's figure slowly emerged. The teacher is here to clean the room again. Suzy scanned the room and found that it was cleaned spotlessly. It doesn't take a second to figure out who did it. Fell asleep. When Suzy looked towards the sofa, he saw Ruyan Lu, who was lying on his side and curled up. Slowly walked over, bent down, and looked at Lu Ruyan's beautiful face up close. The teacher is still so beautiful. Suzy looked at Ruyan Lu. Even when he was sleeping, there was a sweet smile on the corner of his mouth. Who? Lu Ruyan was awakened, and opened her eyes. A white calf like a white jade lotus root was already swaying towards Suzy's head. Snapped. Teacher, I just came back. Don't you need to greet me like this? Suzy stretched out his right hand, grabbed the delicate and silky ankle, and said helplessly. Suzy, am I dreaming again? Seeing the handsome boy in front of him, Lu Ruyan was slightly taken aback. Teacher, how could you be dreaming? If you don't believe me, give me a kiss and see if it still smells like Suzy. Suzy approached slowly with bright smiling eyes. Lu Ruyan looked at the eyes that were almost stuck. Her face was slightly red. Snapped. Lu Ruyan's index finger touched Suzy's forehead. Molested the teacher right after I came back. It's not serious, I'll hit you. Suzy gave Suzy an angry look. Only then did Lu Ruyan blink her eyes, looking at the student who made her think about it day and night. Why did you come back so soon? Sitting up straight, rubbing her eyes, Lu Ruyan pulled Suzy to sit beside her. Of course I miss you, I'll be back soon. Cut. Suzy's arms wrapped around Lu Ruyan's slender waist, bringing their bodies closer together. Lu Ruyan's body froze slightly, her face turned reddish, but she didn't stop her. She also wants to cuddle with Suzy. It's just that as a teacher, she needs to be reserved. I can only give Suzy a look and let him understand it by himself. Teacher, look, here is a gift from me. Suzy said, took out the heart of the world, and put it in front of Lu Ruyan. But I didn't give it to her, for fear that she might not be able to grasp it. This is. Lu Ruyan was shocked. Looking at the stone in Suzy's hand, the core of her territory, she felt an eager desire to devour it. The heart of the world was specially found for you. As soon as you fuse it, the core of your territory will be restored, and it can even evolve. Suzy explained. Hearing this, Ruyan Lu looked up at Suzy. Heart of the world. Lu Ruyan's eyes were full of shock. She never expected that Suzy would find a heart of the world for her. This is a treasure that gods are crazy about. No, it's more important to you. Ruyan Lu refused. She knows Suzy's potential. If he merges with the heart of the world, his territory will undoubtedly be stronger. It would be too wasteful to leave such a treasure to her. But you are more important to me, Suzy said slowly. In fact, for others, the heart of the world may be a treasure to strengthen the core of the territory. But to him, it was somewhat useless. The main function of the heart of the world is to increase the strength of the core of the territory. But the core of Suzy's territory is the world tree. Use the heart of the world to upgrade the world tree. World tree may look down upon. Suzy doesn't know 0.4. Simple sentence, but it warmed Lu Ruyan's heart. Fuse it quickly, Suzy urged. He didn't know how broken the core of Lu Ruyan's territory was. But obviously it's better to integrate earlier. Don't want. Lu Ruyan shook her head, her complexion turned rosy, and she looked at Suzy affectionately. Then suddenly put his arms around Suzy's neck. I don't want to be your teacher anymore. Suzy was no longer a fledgling young boy. Seeing Lu Ruyan's appearance, he immediately understood. He hugged Lu Ruyan's waist with one hand, and then bent his legs to pass through. He picked her up and walked towards the bedroom. No, I prefer to call you teacher, Suzy whispered in his ear. Abnormal. Hearing this, Lu Ruyan's face was so ruddy that she seemed to be able to pinch water, so she could only curse softly. Report. 50%. Chapter 2. Eat dry, wipe Ruyan Lu and leave. Suzy did not expect. Lu Ruyan's energy is so strong. After a day of fighting, Lu Ruyan's territory core has completely recovered, and the territory core has evolved. Evolved from the purple excellent Snake Man template to the golden legendary snake. Its concept covers all snakes. To the great surprise. Not only did Lu Ruyan not get tired, but she became more and more courageous as she fought. In the end, Suzy was crushed under him. 3 days later. Teacher, I have to go today. In the bedroom, Suzy patted lightly, and Lu Rushang's pink and white fragrant shoulders were silky and tender. Just go, remember to close the door. Lu Ruyan spoke in a very lazy tone, her eyes were tightly closed, she was so tired that she didn't want to open them. Suzy is full of black lines. The woman ate it all up, so she wanted to deny it. Snapped. Suzy slapped his buttocks hard, then quickly got out of bed, and the clothes were put on automatically. 31 inches. I left 2 gifts for you, remember to use them. Suzy waved his hand and closed the door gently. Phew, finally left. Lu Ruyan poked out her rosy cheeks from under the quilt. It's not that she doesn't want to say goodbye to Suzy, it's just that she doesn't want to feel the sadness of parting. Now the core of her territory has been restored. She can already become a god again. She understands that Suzy's talent is very enchanting, so she doesn't want to be Suzy's burden. The template of today's arms has become a legend, and it won't take long to catch up with him. Lu Ruyan cheered for herself in her heart. Union, let's wait and see about the shattering of the core of the territory. Thinking of the woman who smashed the core of her territory, Lu Ruyan clenched her fists. Call. Lu Ruyan exhaled lightly. Now that the core of the territory has been restored, there is no threat of death. Gradually her spirits became active again. Ace said he left 2 gifts, but what are they? Curious, Lu Ruyan wanted to get dressed and get out of bed, but saw that the white dress was full of debris under the bed. I really don't understand why you like tearing clothes so much. Lu Ruyan thought that in 3 days, she changed dozens of sets of clothes, and each piece was torn to shreds. White silk, black silk, hip skirt, nurse, etc. In 3 days, she changed it all over. Satisfy the various requirements of Suzy. Lu Ruyan looked around and found that there was a white shirt in the closet. After taking it and fastening the buttons, the lower legs are a little cool. Only then did Lu Ruyan see 2 tokens placed in front of the bed table. When she saw the 2 tokens clearly, her eyes flickered. He suddenly wanted to call Suzy back and fight another 300 rounds. Golden Arms, Nuwa Clan. Golden Hero, Queen Medusa. Hey, why does it feel like being taken care of by a child? Lu Ruyan was a little depressed. Come out from home. Suzy didn't dare to delay any longer, and went to the Xiao family compound. Suzy met the mother and daughter of the Xiao family. Brother-in-law. As soon as it landed, a clear and pleasant voice came out. Then a cute girl with twin ponytails ran out bouncingly and came to Susie's side, holding Susie's arm. Brother-in-law. It was the first time Susie heard this name. But think about it. Isn't Xiao Qingluan his sister-in-law? Brother-in-law, are you here to take my sister away? Xiao Qingluan couldn't help asking. Susie nodded. It's time to go. At this time, the cold Xiao Wanqing and the rich and colorful Lu Piaopiao walked out of the house slowly. Young master. Seeing Susie, Xiao Wanqing quickened her pace and came to Susie. Her eyes were full of Susie. Seeing this scene, Lu Piaopiao couldn't help but sigh in her heart. She already knew that Xiao Wanqing became the subordinate lord of His Royal Highness Su Luo. And it was voluntary by the eldest daughter. I was still a little uncomfortable. But when he saw Xiao Wanqing's golden arms and his level 90 strength, she acquiesced. It might be Xiao Wanqing's opportunity to be by Susie's side. I just hope His Royal Highness Susie can treat her daughter well. But when she saw the lively second daughter, she felt a little headache again. The second daughter seems to be interested in Susie. But how can sisters work together? Your Highness Susie, I will entrust you after Wanqing. Lu Piaopiao wanted to bow to Susie. Her ample figure stretched her slender Qi 430 robe tightly. Show off Lu Piaopiao's figure perfectly. Ahem. Susie coughed twice, and reached out to support Lu Piaopiao who was about to bend down. That's not necessary, I should take care of Wanner. Susie said so, but Lu Piaopiao didn't dare to be casual. However, when she wanted to continue bowing down, she found that Susie's hands were like rocks in the sea, no matter how strong she used. He is still as solid as a mountain. You know, she is the next god. Lu Piaopiao slowly got up, looking at Susie with horror in his eyes. Susie didn't stay at Xiao's house too much. After receiving Xiao Wanqing, Susie directly took out the fixed-point teleportation talisman that his master gave him. Bling. People have disappeared. HMPH. My sister took the lead. However, I won't give up. Xiao Qingluan looked at the place where Susie left, clenched her fists tightly. Hey, then you have to work hard. Seeing the little girl's appearance, Lu Piaopiao thought about Susie's strength just now. She felt that Susie might be a good choice. Report. 50%. Chapter 3. Getting to know Phoenix Academy for the first time, the secret of 10 revolutions. Your Highness, please come this way. Vermilion Bird Mansion, the core of Vermilion Bird City. A beautiful and graceful housekeeper leads the way for Susie in front. Until they came to a magnificent hall. Then the housekeeper slowly backed away. Susie stepped into the hall. I saw Wu Qingying sitting at the top, on the golden throne engraved with the red flame vermilion bird. In his hand he held a bright red spear. The apprentice pays homage to the master. Susie walked slowly to the center of the hall and bowed respectfully towards Wu. HMPH, it's good for you to go back to treat your teacher's injury. You'll be there for 3 days. You won't even reply to the news. When Wu Qingying mentioned this, she felt a toothache. The day passed. She thought that Susie would come to her, but she just sat there all day, waiting for a lonely time. She couldn't bear her temper. Come directly to Qinghai City again. As a result, she saw her apprentice and her teacher, fighting, fiercely. Let her be the master, read several sins. Only then was he relieved. She had already seen it. Susie and Ruyanlu were just playing a teacher-student role-playing game. After Susie went back, she had expected it, but I didn't expect Susie to go there for 3 days. Isn't he tired? Disciple, although the relationship between men and women is good, it must be restrained. Wu Qingying speaks earnestly and earnestly. Her apprentice is good in everything, but she is a little playful and makes love debts everywhere. Ahem, master, I will pay attention. Susie was a little embarrassed when reminded by his master. Okay, I called you here today, mainly to tell you a few things, and at the same time to explain some ways to become a god for you. Wu Qingying waved her hand and put away the spear in her hand. Stepping down slowly from the throne. Take Susie towards the back garden. Susie, how much do you know about Phoenix Academy? Walking on the road, Wu Qingying asked Susie. Don't know much. Susie shook his head. For him before awakening. Phoenix Academy is an unreachable existence. And Qinghai City is just a small city in the Vermilion Bird territory that cannot be in a small city. There is almost no information about Phoenix Academy. After all, there has never been a lord in Qinghai City who could be admitted to Phoenix Academy. Unlike previous college entrance exams, the college entrance examination in this life pay more attention to the performance of students, rather than just a single test performance. Actually, the college entrance examination has already begun from the moment the master template is awakened. Whether it is the template of the arms, the level of the Lord, or the performance in the newcomer trial or the Tianjiao battle, someone will record it on the internet. These messages are then pushed to the universities. Only the top Tianjiao can stand out from 100 territories like the Vermilion Bird Territory. Go to the heart of the East, Chengdu. And Phoenix University is the top school in Chengdu. It is even one of the top 5 universities in the entire Shangxia Empire. Even the palace master is held by the god Wang Chang. Here is your admission letter from Phoenix University. Quote. Wu Qingying suddenly took out a piece of pale yellow warm jade and handed it to Su Zi. Su Zi picked it up, and a message appeared. Notice from Phoenix University. Type. Phoenix stone. Quality. Blue. Function. Gentle and gentle as jade. Carry it with you to calm your mind and increase your literary spirit. Introduction. Welcome to join Phoenix Academy. Hey, even the notice is a blue quality prop. How awesome. After reading the message, Su Zi sighed. Such a piece of phoenix stone is also top-notch in blue quality. The value exceeds 1 million source crystals. And the Phoenix Academy actually gave away one to each person. What is this? When you go to Phoenix Academy, you will know what a district is. A flash of memory flashed in Wu Qingying's eyes. Back then, she was severely shocked once. Then I was accidentally seen by a rich boy. Call yourself a bumpkin. So her first battle to enter the Phoenix Academy began. Su Zi nodded, feeling indifferent. No matter how proud you are, it's not your own. Then Wu Qingying told Su Zi some secrets about Phoenix Academy. This is so that he will not suffer a disadvantage if he goes to Phoenix Academy. When she went to Phoenix Academy, no one took her with her. Naturally, people have also been tricked. But then they were all suppressed by her. By the way, this is for you. As Wu Qingying said, she took out a storage ring and threw it to Su Zi. Su Zi took it and probed with his spiritual sense, and was immediately taken aback. Inside turned out to be a full 3.5 billion source crystals. You need too many source crystals for the transformation of your territory. If you rely on yourself, you don't know how long you will have to wait. There are 3.5 billion source crystals here, which you and I received from a bet from the White Tiger Lord Lin. Originally, I only had 2 billion in my hand, but your Uncle Li said that you were pleasing to the eye, and gave you her share of 1.5 billion source crystals. You have to remember your Uncle Li. And your Uncle Feng, the storage ring that I gave you should also contain source crystals. Wu Qingying exhorted. Su Zi thought about it, took it out and checked it. Really, inside are a full 1.5 billion source crystals. Su Zi not only smacked his lips. These two uncles are rich women. At least 1 billion source crystals were given to him without hesitation. Get in touch when you are free. Although you have the fruit of life extension, if you can complete the territory transformation as soon as possible, do it as soon as possible. The time required for your catastrophe to become a god will be terrifying, now you must seize every minute. Wu Qingying solemnly warned Su Zi. Clear. Su Zi nodded. Now there is no shortage of source crystals. But if it is rank 9, the source point may be worse. But it's not difficult. He can plant the entire territory with cash cows. A steady stream of source crystals and source points every day. Conversion needs are quickly met. As for the power of faith that condenses the godhead. After Su Zi brought back Claire's worm nest and thousands of worm soldiers. The power of faith obtained every day is as high as 30 million. Waiting for him to complete the transformation. The power of faith will not be lacking. Master, do you know how the territory is transferred? Su Zi asked Wu Qingying. 10 turns. Wu Qingying was taken aback for a moment, then nodded along with Kota Echizan. 10 revolutions no longer require source crystals and source points, but some other special conditions. Wu Qingying said, when you turn 9, the conditions for turning 10 will naturally emerge. It's related to your troop template. After I turned 9, I also dreamed of turning 10. Having said this, Wu Qingying paused, and then refused to go on the road. But Blue Star will actually wants my Vermilion Bird to occupy 1/3 of the luck of a high-level fantasy world. Isn't this a joke? Heard words. In the high-level fantasy world, powerhouses comparable to gods are everywhere. Let the master who has not yet become a god to plan luck, I am afraid that he will be shot to death in an instant. 10 turns is a matter of fate. If you are lucky, you can get through it easily. If you are not lucky, the chance of success may be 0. Wu Qingying shook her head, unwilling to say more. Obviously, she is a person with bad luck. Su Zi nodded. Do your best and obey the destiny. You will know everything after turning 9. Report. 51%. Chapter 4. the two women who appeared unexpectedly. Now that the three major dark planes are invading, and the human race is in a state of turmoil, which other races are quietly preparing to achieve the highest level. Heroes come out of troubled times. I hope you can seize this great era. At last, Wu Qingying advised Suzy. She left Suzy an avatar. This incarnation possesses the top strength of a middle god. According to Wu Qingying, Master is away from home. If someone disrespects the old and bullies the young with the big, then there is no need to be polite. Kill him. For this, Suzy's heart was full of emotion, and he liked this kind of master who protects his weaknesses. Also, if you are in the academy, there are people from other outlands who will challenge you. Remember, hit me hard. When he was about to walk to the back garden, Wu Qingying suddenly confessed to Suzy. Because of this black plane invasion, she didn't know if the person who said that he would come to challenge would come. But she needs to explain to Suzy first. Suzy nodded, keeping this matter in mind. I have explained everything that needs to be explained. The master leads the door, and the cultivation depends on the individual. This time I went to guard the universe. I don't know when I will return. I hope to see you next time. You have become a god. Wu Qingying expects Suzy. 207. If one day, both the master and the apprentice are god kings, which is a good story. I won't keep the master waiting long. Suzy responded with a smile. For becoming a god, he is determined to achieve it. Wu Qingying nodded. I look forward to the time when you become a god. We arrived and knew that you were not familiar with Phoenix City, so we found two acquaintances for you. Suzy followed Wu Qingying into the back garden. Colorful exotic flowers and grasses were everywhere, and two slender girls in dresses stood on the grass. The sun shone down and hit the cheeks of the two of them, making them look extraordinarily stunning. Chu Yuyan, Bai Mengmeng. Suzy was slightly taken aback when he saw the two of them. When we parted at the beginning, I didn't expect to meet here. His Royal Highness Suzy. Holding a cute little white rabbit in her arms, Bai Mengmeng ran over slowly. Chu Yuyan also walked over slowly, with elegant demeanor and smooth steps, but her steps were obviously a little faster. His Royal Highness Suzy. Chu Yuyan's voice was like a warbler's cry, which was pleasant to the ear. It's good that you're fine. I was a little worried when I didn't see you at the beginning. Suzy looked at the two girls with different styles and said. His Royal Highness Suzy is worried. When Chu Yuyan heard this, a gleam of joy flashed in her eyes. Unexpectedly, Suzy has been thinking about them all the time. Ahem, you can talk about the old days later. You have to go to Phoenix Academy now. Wu Qingying coughed twice and reminded everyone. It's getting dark. The three of Suzy nodded, and then bid farewell to Wu Qingying. Because the major cities are far apart, they are often connected through large teleportation arrays. The three of them took the teleportation array from Vermilion Bird City and arrived in Chengdu. Then it passed through a teleportation array before being sent to Phoenix Academy. Wu Qingying sent a message saying that little A's is coming today. Will you be pleasantly surprised to see me? Phoenix Academy, in a towering building soaring into the sky. Li Muzzy pierced through the clouds and smoke, looking at the teleportation array inside and outside the link of Phoenix Academy. She didn't find ADBG opportunities before, but now she can find time to chat with Suzy. Hey, I don't know when my sister and brother-in-law will come out of that place. Thinking of this, Muzzy Li sighed and shook his head. Suzy's territorial area is as high as 600,000 square kilometers. I really don't know what he thinks. Doesn't he want to become a god? In a villa in the accommodation area. He Wushwang looked at the news he received, a little shocked, but more puzzled. 600,000 square kilometers. How can mortal realm control such a huge territory? Blue Star's catastrophe of becoming a god will polish his lifespan little by little. He Wushwang, the Suzy you recommended, we all agree that there is no need to cooperate anymore. At this time, a message came from He Wushwang's communicator. Crane Wushwang's complexion changed. Others also picked up the news. The society they are about to form. The purpose is to form your own circle and contacts. Whether it is before becoming a god or after becoming a god, watch and help each other. But Suzy has a territorial area of 600,000 square kilometers. Clearly they've been disappointed with it. I don't want to add another person who can't even make Chengdu. Don't think about it anymore. You have to know that Suzy is an unusually rare alien lord, and he is also a plant type. His plant troops and heroes are completely different from the plants we know. I think we can retain his qualifications first. If he really has no hope of becoming a god after hundreds of years, it won't be too late for us to drive him away. He Wushwang wants to fight for Suzy. After all, among the members of this club, he is the only one who has seen Suzy's horror. At that time, Suzy's territorial area was less than 600,000 square kilometers. No need, according to the club voting rules, the number of people who disagree with Suzy joining the club has already exceeded half. A cold voice came from the opposite side. He Wushwang's face froze when he heard the words. These guys have colluded so quickly. Suzy, are you here soon? Feng Zixuan put down the news from her sister-in-law Feng Judian. Although my aunt said, Suzy must have the confidence to do so. But she was still worried. With a territorial area of 600,000 square kilometers. If you can become a god, how large will its territory be? In the future, the upper limit of its world will inevitably far exceed other gods. Report, 51%. Chapter 5. 9 Colors Luck, 400 Years of Graduation. Your Highness Suzy, we have arrived. A ray of light flashed, and the 3 figures of Suzy appeared in the teleportation array. Suzy swept around for the first time. The first thing I felt was the extremely rich aura of heaven and earth in Phoenix Academy. It's almost catching up with my territory, Suzy murmured softly. After all, there is a world tree in his territory to increase the concentration of aura. The aura density is so high that it is outrageous. One can imagine, how much resources did Phoenix Academy invest in creating a top-level cultivation environment? Brother Suzy, I've been waiting so long, it's time to wait for you. Suddenly, there was a sound of surprise not far away. Then a fat figure appeared. Fatty Wong. Suzy accidentally met him here. Fatty Wong quickly ran up to Suzy, his eyes filled with the joy of seeing the Soviet area. He waited here for a day, just to let Suzy see him at first sight. The rumors that have already spread wildly in Phoenix Academy. Naturally, it is impossible for Fatty Wong not to know. But he scoffed at it. No one knows. He was born with a pair of eyes that could see through the fate of other people. Of all the people he met, there is no one with more prosperous luck than his big brother Suzy. In terms of quality, ordinary people's luck is more white and green, Tianzhao's luck is more blue. Among them, the purple one already represents the purple air coming from the east, which is unique in thousands of miles. Then the golden luck is the sun of luck of a planet. When he first saw Suzy, but found Suzy's luck has almost turned into a golden ocean. And above the ocean, there is a 9-color luck that he has never seen before. It made him tremble, even crazy. And what surprised him even more was that some women around Suzy, it may be blue before, and get purple luck. But after contacting Suzy for a while, their luck was even stained with gold. And every time he looks again, they will all find that the gold in their luck is increasing. He understands. It's all because they are by Suzy's side. The top level of luck will unconsciously change the level of luck of the people around you. This is what the legend says. One person attains the Tao, chicken and dog ascend to heaven. After he got this summary, he even regretted that he was not a woman. So, no matter what others say, he always firmly believes that Suzy has big thick legs. He wants to hold on tight. Brother, 2 sister-in-laws, I will take you to the residence first. Fatty Wong shouted enthusiastically. Chu Yuyan and Bai Mengmeng blushed slightly when they heard this. Ahem, they are not yet. Suzy reminded. Sorry, I misunderstood. When Fatty Wong heard this, he quickly apologized. Not yet, which means it will be in the future. Fine. Bai Mengmeng smiled and shook her head, looking at Fatty Wong more and more pleasing to her eyes. Chu Yuyan nodded slightly, but did not speak. After Xiao Zudian came out, her engagement has been completely cancelled. And it seems that the ancestor deliberately mentioned Suzy in front of her. How could she not understand its meaning? Soon. Under the leadership of Fatty Wong, the 3 came to the villa area. Students of the Phoenix Academy each have a luxury villa. Each villa is protected by a formation, and even the lower gods cannot break through it. Fatty Wong introduced Suzy as he walked. Suzy looked at the villas covering an area of tens of thousands of square meters. Have to say, the treatment of students is top-notch. Boss, in your notice, there is the serial number of the villa assigned to you, you can take a look. Fatty Wong reminded. Suzy nodded. Didn't realize it had this feature. Number 81. Suzy took out Momo, and with a thought, a number appeared on the goose yellow phoenix jade. Hey, what a coincidence, Your Highness Suzy, my villa is number 82. Bai Mengmeng said pleasantly upon hearing this. Mine is number 83. Chu Yuyan was also a little surprised. Fatty Wong was surprised. Because his villa is number 85. Obviously, someone deliberately assigned them to one area. I didn't expect my eldest brother to have someone in the Phoenix Academy. Fatty Wong thought to himself. Those who can do this step have a high status. Everyone went to their respective villas. It was getting late at this time, and everyone didn't say much. Enter Routing's villa. 0. Ask for flowers. Villa 81. Susie stood in front of the door. A sweet voice sounded. Ding. Welcome to Susie. Xiao Ai is your smart housekeeper. If you have any questions, you can ask Xiao Ai. Artificial intelligence. Susie nodded upon hearing this. Relying on the mechanical supremacy of the Northern Territory, the technology of the entire human race has developed rapidly. Artificial intelligence has long been studied thoroughly. The door opens. The lights in the villa are shining. There are kitchens, bedrooms, toilets, bathrooms, quiet rooms, tea rooms, and all kinds of buildings. Susie simply walked around the villa. Xiao Ai, after entering the academy, is there anything I need to know? Let me introduce it. After getting acquainted with the villa, Susie asked Xiao Ai. As a student's personal artificial intelligence, it will know everything about the school. Okay, master. Xiao Ai's voice echoed in the hall. Phoenix Academy does not have strict courses, and the time is very free. It only needs to be reviewed by the institution every 100 years. If the contribution points are insufficient, you will be expelled from school. What are the contribution points? Susie grasped the key points keenly. The school will release many tasks, and every time a task is completed, a certain contribution point will be obtained. Susie nodded. I didn't expect Phoenix Jade to have so many functions. In the next second, Phoenix Jade reappeared, following Susie's thoughts. A virtual screen appeared in front of Susie. Long-term task. Study and pass the unit and hero loyalty training course assessment. Reward contribution points, 10. Long-term task. Study and pass the introduction of the universe sea race, and pass the assessment. Reward contribution points, 20. Urgent task. Help Seahorse World, clean up the invading demons. Reward contribution points, 1000 points. Urgent task. Help the profound Earth continent, clean up the invading undead. Reward contribution points, 1000 points. Urgent task. Help Firebird World, clean up the invading ghosts. Reward contribution points, 1000 points. Each student needs to obtain 10,000 points every 100 years. With 40,000 points within 400 years, you can graduate from Phoenix University. Xiao Ai said unhurriedly. Report, 51%. Chapter 6. Phoenix Store, Tongtian Tower. Heard that Susie pondered. The teaching method of Phoenix University is very unique. As long as you get enough contribution points, you have absolute freedom. Don't even have to take any of the classes. As for the 400 years of graduation, in Phoenix Academy, everyone has great potential. In fact, the 400-year graduation period is nothing but the final period. Many students even after enrolling. Within a few years or even decades, he began to welcome the catastrophe of becoming a god. Since then, it can already be said to have graduated from the Phoenix Academy. However, has the invasion of the Dark Plane already had such a big impact? Even the Lord, 457, who has not yet become a god, has been issued a mission. Susie slid down a little more. Among the 10 tasks found, 7 of them are related to the invasion of the 3 major Dark Planes. Master, please open the Phoenix Mall. This is a benefit exclusively for students of the Phoenix Academy. At this time, Xiao Ai reminded again. With a thought in Susie's mind, a virtual data panel appeared. Heart of the World, 1 billion contribution points. Life World Coordinates, 900 million contribution points. 1 Cubic Enlightenment Stone, 800 million contribution points. 12 Winged Holy Angel Hero Token, 300 million contribution points. Baijin Beeman Hero Token, 300 million contribution points. Branches of the Tree of Life, 100 million contribution points. 10,000 square kilometers continent, 1,000 contribution points. Hiss, it even has the heart of the world. Susie shocked. Dare to take out such a precious treasure, which is enough to show the foundation of Phoenix Academy. The price is also really expensive, and it costs 1 billion contribution points. Susie not only clicked his tongue. Only 1,000 contribution points are needed to solve a world crisis. Wanting to exchange for a heart of the world is simply far away. The Tao Enlightenment Stone can help heroes and troops understand the principles of the Tao, and even after becoming a god, it can also help the gods understand the rules. However, I have a Bodhi tree, and the Bodhi seeds produced will have the effect of enlightenment. Susie shook his head. This kind of thing is not very useful to him. Hero summoning tokens of various top arms. The military possession of the minister's mansion is really rich. What? Susie glanced through the catalog and found an item that interested him. A land of 10,000 square kilometers requires 1,000 walking points. Susie's eyes brightened. If the territory wants to expand, there must be material. But after leaving the little heavens, unless it descends into the cosmic sea and devours the foreign continent, otherwise it would be difficult to find land. Although I have the world tree, I can attract meteorites and broken land in the void, but the speed of getting tired is very slow. If I want to complete the 9th rank quickly, it seems that I have to buy it from the Shafu Mall. A land of 10,000 square kilometers requires 1,000 contribution points, so it is conservatively estimated that hundreds of thousands of contribution points are needed for the 8th turn. Susie frowned and asked, "Shall I, besides doing tasks, is there any place where I can quickly get contribution points?" "Some." Shao I quickly answered. "There are many ways for the academy to obtain contribution points. The first type, accept various tasks. Some contribution points are also very high. The second way, break through the Tongtian Tower. You can get a certain reward every time you pass a level. The higher the level you pass, the more contribution points you get. The third type, the school will hold regular events, and anyone who can win the ranking will be rewarded with large contribution points. And in a month, there will be a freshman event. For the owner, it will be a good opportunity. The fourth is that you can contribute various weapons and props to the school, and the school will also reward you with contribution points. There are also various gambling fights. As long as they don't involve the life and death of the Lord, the schools generally don't care about it." Susie nodded. It seems that there are many ways to earn contribution points. Freshman activities in 1 month, you need to pay attention. Tongtian Pagoda, you can visit it tomorrow. The last one, can you exchange equipment and props for contribution points? Susie's eyes lit up. In his inventory, there are countless low-quality equipment items. "Shall I, how many contribution points can I exchange for white-quality props?" Susie asked. White-quality props can be exchanged for 0.1 contribution points. Green-quality props can be exchanged for 0.5 contribution points. Props of blue quality can be exchanged for 1 contribution point. Purple quality props can be exchanged for 50 contribution points. Gold quality props, depending on the type, have different contribution points. Straight. After listening to Shao Ai's description, Susie couldn't help but said, "A piece of blue quality Dao 3.1 is enough to exchange for 1,000,000 source crystals, but the school gave the price of 1 contribution point. It seems that low quality props are worthless here." Susie pondered, no longer planning to sell props. The school does not encourage relying on the sale of props to obtain contribution points. It is better to find a shop to sell these props. This road won't work, so I have to go to Tongtian Pagoda tomorrow. Susie thought to himself. Although he has life-extending plants, he doesn't want to spend hundreds of years becoming a god. So, the present time is very precious to him. Report, 51%. Chapter 7. Rejected. 100-story Tongtian Pagoda, 9-leaf sword grass. Next day. Break free from the embrace of the little goblin and Xiao Wanqing. Wake up. Susie shook Xiao Wanqing's fragrant shoulders. Xiao Wanqing slowly opened her eyes, but there was still a trace of sleepiness in them. But soon woke up. "Master, can you take me with you?" The goblin also woke up, looking at Susie pitifully. "Hey, I'll be back soon." Susie rubbed the little fairy Rong Shun's red hair. Blue Star has a clear prohibition that heroes and units are not allowed to be brought out. This decree is to be obeyed by the upper gods and god kings. Okay. The little goblin was a little disappointed, but she didn't force it. Had breakfast at Fanlu. Susie brought Xiao Wanqing to villa number 81. Your Highness. As soon as he walked out, he met Chu Yu and Bai Mengmeng, who also came out. Susie nodded to them. They made an appointment last night to go to Tongtian Pagoda together. "Brother, I'm here." Before they could take a few steps, Fatty Wang ran over. "Brother, are you going to Tongtian Pagoda?" Fatty Wang asked. "That's right." Upon receiving Susie's answer, Fatty Wang's eyes sparkled, and there was a flash of excitement in his eyes. Chuang Tongtian Pagoda, not only the tradition of Phoenix Academy. It is also the tradition of the entire Shengxia Empire, the Eastern Alliance, and even the entire Blue Star universe. Among countless schools, there is a Tongtian Pagoda. The Tongtian Tower is not a test of the Lord's combat power. It is the combat power of the heroes under the Lord's command. 100-story Tongtian Pagoda. In the countless years of Blue Star's history, including God Kings, God Emperors, and even Supreme, both have participated in the Tongtian Tower Challenge. This is the Tongtian Pagoda. When the crowd came to a square, a 100-story ancient pagoda with a pointed top appeared in the eyes of everyone. In front of the pagoda, there is a quaint stone monument more than 100 meters high. On the stone tablet, engraved with golden seal characters. Look carefully, that is actually a bronzing name, there are as many as 1,000,000. Among them, the top 1,000 with the highest positions were shrouded in chaotic light, and their names could not be seen. Now, under the Tongtian Pagoda, there was a lot of discussion among new and old students. Tongtian Tower, I don't know which floor I can go to. Feng Zixuan from the Feng family has already reached the 67th floor, and I think she can break through the 90th floor. Xiao Nan of the Xiao family has already passed the 63rd floor, and he may also have passed the 90th floor. I don't know if anyone can climb the Tongtian Monument this year. It's difficult. Those who can climb the Tongtian Monument can at least become a middle god. Not everyone can achieve it. Is that Su Zi? Su Zi is coming. It is rumored that he is the lord of the plant department. He not only won the first place in the newcomer trial in Vermilion Bird, but also won the first place in the Xiaoju Tianjiao competition jointly organized by hundreds of races. However, I heard yesterday that his territory covers an area of 600,000 square kilometers, and there is almost no hope of becoming a god. Yeah, such a monster, what a pity. Oh, I think he is a little ignorant. He also came to challenge the Tongtian Tower. A brother of mine who participated in the Xiaozhu Tianjiao battle once said that his plant strength is very terrifying. As soon as the Su Zi people arrived, someone recognized him. Su Zi. A voice suddenly stopped Su Zi. Su Zi looked. Found another acquaintance. He Wushuang. Su Zi, sorry, I may not be able to let you join our club. He Wushuang said with a little shame. After all, he was the one who invited Su Zi in Small World. Now it is rejected. Society. Su Zi was taken aback for a moment, then remembered. He Wushuang once said that he would invite him to join a club, but he hasn't agreed yet. But now something seems to be wrong. Quote exclamation mark quote. Su Zi shook his head. Originally he didn't want to join any club. He has no shortage of common resources. And top resources like the heart of the world. Su Zi didn't believe they could get it out either. So, the so-called community, to him, is like a surrounding establishment. Waving to He Wushuang, Su Zi staggered away from him. Hey, looking at Su Zi's back, He Wushuang was a little depressed, but also helpless. It is impossible for him to fall out with those people for Su Zi. After saying goodbye to everyone, Su Zi did not hesitate under the Tongtian Tower. Instead, walked directly into the light curtain of the Tongtian Tower. Ding! Hello student Su Zi, each student has a chance to challenge once a year, do you use it? As soon as he walked in, an ethereal voice 387 sounded. Yes, Su Zi said without hesitation. Please summon your hero, remember, only one can be summoned. The ethereal voice reminded again. Su Zi nodded. The mind merged into the territory, the moment the 9-leaf swordgrass was sensed. Su Zi summoned it out. Among all heroes, the one with the strongest attack power is undoubtedly Xiao Ju. The corners of Su Zi's mouth curled up slightly. He also wants to know. How many floors can the 9-leaf swordgrass hit? The assessment begins. A's, are you going to participate in the Tongtian Tower? The moment Su Zi entered the Tongtian Pagoda, Li Muzi received the news immediately. The achievements of Tongtian Tower can be seen anywhere. The old guy in the family must be surprised. Li Muzi smiled lightly. The next moment the figure disappeared. When it reappeared, it had already appeared in the void outside the Tongtian Tower. Her apprentice, Su Zi, wants to break into the Tongtian Tower. In a secret room of Phoenix Academy, a cold voice resounded. Go and see, what kind of evildoer can make you accept disciples. Report, 52%. Chapter 8. The assessment begins, the speed of going against the grain. Mustard seed Nasumi. Every floor of Tongtian Pagoda seems to be as big as a world. Bright light, wide field of vision. Stomp, boom. The unknown rock under his feet made a pound sound, and it was extremely stable. The first level of assessment begins. Please eliminate 10 high-level white-quality slimes within 1 hour. The ethereal voice sounded. Next moment, suddenly, 10 slimes of different colors were projected in front of Su Zi. Water slime. Race. Slime. Grade. 9. Constitution. 15. Dexterity. 7. Spirit. 8. Abilities. Wet, frozen. Introduction. Hold and sleep cool CC. Ray slime. Race. Slime. Grade. 9. Constitution. 30. Agility. 46. Spirit. 65. Skills. Discharge. Introduction. The crisp and numb feeling. The level of monsters on the first floor is very low, and it is easy to pass, but the real difficulty is at the top. Su Zi looked at the bouncing low-level slimes, and didn't intend to waste time. Xiao Ju, solve them quickly. Suzy waved his hand directly. This kind of low-level monster is completely distributed. Yes, my lord. After the 9-leaf sword grass finished speaking, a sword grass chopped out a sharp sword light. Brush. Sword light across. 10 first-order slimes of various attributes instantly turned into a ball of light and shadow, shattered and disappeared. They are not real monsters. It is just simulated by Tongtian Tower, but it is no different from the real monster. The moment the monster was wiped out, Suzy heard an ethereal reminder again. Congratulations, you have passed the first level assessment and will be rewarded with 10 contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? Just give 10 contribution points for the first floor. Suzy raised his eyebrows and his eyes lit up. After studying a course and passing the assessment, the team will reward 10 contribution points. But here, get 10 contribution points easily. The higher you go, the more rewards you get. Tongtian Tower is completely a benefit for new students. Rush up, the higher you go, the more rewards you get. Suzy thought to himself. Do not hesitate any longer. Enter the second floor. As soon as the words fell, the figures of Suzy and 9-leaf sword grass were enveloped by a beam of light. Appears again the next moment. It is already on a boundless grassland. The second level of assessment begins. Please eliminate 100 green quality green bulls within 1 hour. The 100 strong bulls that were gnawing grass and covered in thick green hair rushed towards Suzy with red eyes the moment Suzy appeared. Kill. 9-leaf sword grass didn't need Suzy's order anymore, and swung out another sword, cutting 100 green bulls in half. Congratulations, you have passed the second tier assessment and will be rewarded with 20 contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? Congratulations, you have passed the third tier assessment and will be rewarded with 40 contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? Congratulations, you have passed the fourth level assessment and will be rewarded with 60 contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? Congratulations, you have passed the fifth level assessment and will be rewarded with 80 contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? I don't know which floor the eldest brother can ascend to. Fatty Wong was a little curious. In the past, I only heard about Suzy's strength, but have never seen. Therefore, no one knows the level of strength of the plant hero. Can it be compared with sacred races such as Azure Dragon and Vermilion Bird? Even the hero Vermilion Bird, who defeated Feng Zixuan last time, was using a subsidiary ex machina. My son's hero is no worse than any race. Xiao Wanqing's voice is as cold and sharp as a spring, and her will is very firm. It's about to reach the 50th floor, and after the 50th floor, the difficulty will suddenly increase. He Wushwang stared at the bright light on the tower without blinking. Everyone, every time one level rises, the Tongtian Pagoda on that level will light up. Now the time is only 10 minutes, but Suzy has already climbed to the 51st floor. But Tongtian Tower, 50 floors is up to the threshold. 50 floors ago, it's just a white, green quality, lowest level monster. For these lords who don't know how many transformations they have completed. The first 50 layers are just the beginning. From the 50th floor to the 90th floor, there will be blue and purple quality monsters. The difficulty will increase exponentially. These 40 floors will wipe out almost 99% of the challengers. Also from this layer, the speed of the students being assessed will be slowed down. Just like Feng Zixuan and Xiaonan who have already entered. Today, they have only broken through the 78th and 74th floors respectively. So Suzy's speed will inevitably drop after passing the 50th floor. This is something everyone agrees on. However, for the next Wang Nuo's moment, they were a little stunned. How could it be? Not only did his speed not decrease, but it increased again. Having passed the 50th floor, even if it is a legendary hero, its power will be consumed, and the speed will inevitably slow down. How can it be accelerated? Grass, rush to the 55th floor in half a minute, are you kidding me? On the 56th floor, 57th floor, 58th floor, what is his plant hero? Is it a battlefield type like the mechanical system? With such consumption, does he not plan to pass the next level? FK, why is it getting faster and faster? Floor 63, floor 64, floor 65, if this continues, I'm afraid I'll catch up with those two monsters. I don't believe it. According to this speed, when his hero is exhausted, he will fail. He can't even get to the 90th building. Report, 52%. Chapter 9. Leaping over, crushing strength. There was a lot of discussion from the outside world, but Suzy naturally didn't know about it. The first 50 floors, almost every time the 9-leaf sword grass appears, it ends with a single strike. Then comes the next layer. Even the second blade of the sword was not used. The quality has improved. When reaching the 51st floor, Suzy obviously found that the quality of the monsters had improved. To deal with white and green quality monsters, the 9-leaf swordgrass hardly consumes any power, and can kill them with a single blade. But the quality of monsters is improved, the strength and skills are improved. A single sword leaf could no longer be easily killed. So, Suzy made the 9-leaf swordgrass and added a piece of Sword King. This increases the speed of killing monsters again. Congratulations, you have passed the 51st floor assessment and will be rewarded with 1000 contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? A reminder sounded in the ear. As the difficulty increases, the contribution point rewards also increase. Before the 50th floor, each floor increased by 20 contribution points, but now this floor has directly increased by 200 contribution points. Directly doubled. Suzy was pleasantly surprised. If so, then when he clears the Tongtian Tower, 097 is enough for him to save enough territory. Let the territory take the 8th turn. Tongtian Pagoda is a daily benefit for all new students. Suzy smiled. This is probably the easiest of all ways to earn contribution points. After passing this village, there are no shops. So, do your best to rush upwards, and you can earn a little more. Outside Tongtian Pagoda, many old and new students watching the battle gradually became dull. Because they think, Suzy broke out crazily in the early stage, but the follow-up was weak. But on the Tongtian Pagoda, the subsequent beams of light slapped them in the face. Even with increased difficulty, Suzy's speed didn't slow down at all, but continued to rise. As the plant hero so strong, some old students couldn't help but wonder. If you have only heard of Suzy's plant system before, it is different. So now, at feet they seem to see the difference in the flora. But that's just the beginning. Soon after, they will completely subvert the perception of flora. Tongtian Tower, 75th floor. That is, Xiaonan, who was watching carefully his legendary hero Titan Colossus was fighting. Suddenly saw the world was cut into two transparent. Someone is chasing after him. Xiaonan turned her head, looking at the gradually formed second world. Her expression was not very good looking. He and Feng Zixuan entered at the same time. But Feng Zixuan gradually threw him away after the 50th floor. Now someone is chasing after him. Who will it be? Xiaonan was puzzled. He Wushwang, the son of that son-in-law. Or from those families. Xiaonan whispered, his titans are mighty. But even breaking through the 75-story Tongtian Tower, facing powerful monsters one by one, the state of the giant elephant is no longer at its peak, and there are even some scars on its body. And now, Titan Colossus was tortured and exhausted by hundreds of shadow demons of excellent purple quality. Want to pass the 75th floor? For the Titans, it will take some time. However, the 75th floor is not so easy. Xiaonan sneered in his heart. 100 shadow demons with at least level 93. What he is best at is assassination and hiding. They can even hide their bodies in shallow spaces. Make the giant elephant unable to attack the opponent at all. Only at the moment of its appearance. Only then has such a momentary opportunity to tear the dark demon race apart. He expected, the person who catches up will also be trapped by the shadow demons. Quote exclamation mark quote. Xiaonan's pupils shrank. In the second battlefield opened up on the 75th floor, a ray of light fell, and two figures appeared. Suzy. Xiaonan was taken aback when he saw the person coming. Suzy. He came in too, and he chased him to the 75th floor. When Xiaonan looked at Suzy, Suzy naturally also saw Xiaonan. Although a little surprised, there will be people on this floor. But I'm too lazy to take care of him. Next moment. 100 level 93 shadow demons are projected out. But after they appeared for a moment, they disappeared without a trace in an instant. Brush. Seeing this, the 3 sword leaves of the 9-leaf sword grass shone slightly. In an instant, countless sword chi were thrown out, cutting through the space in the blink of an eye, and flying to different spaces. Plop, plop, plop. Like a dumpling, it fell from the hidden space, and then turned into light spots and dissipated. It takes less than a minute for one person and one plant to appear. 100 level 93 shadow demons with strong concealment were killed. Congratulations, you have passed the 75th floor assessment and will be rewarded with 5,000 contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? Suzy's ears ringing. Yes. Next moment, their figures disappeared again. Xiaonan, who watched Suzy's every move the whole time, was stunned. How is that possible? There are 100 level 93 shadow demons. Each one is the top assassin in the universe. How could it be so easy to find? Xiaonan was a little confused. He knew that Suzy was very powerful, but never thought about it. How could his hero be so scary? Report. 52%. Chapter 10. The shocked Feng Zixuan. He has already surpassed Xiaonan, already on the 75th floor. His speed is already so fast. What kind of hero is so terrifying? I remember Xiaonan's hero, but it's a legendary titan. It has grown to the extreme, enough to crush a planet in one fell swoop. You must know that Feng Zixuan stayed on the 75th floor for a long time, but Suzy didn't stop. What is his hero? It's so powerful. Whoever has news, I will buy it at a big price. When Suzy ascended the 76th floor, people from the outside world have already aroused full curiosity about Suzy and his heroes. It's outrageous for a plant system to be so powerful. But obviously, they are going to be disappointed. In Suzy's territory, everything is blocked. Even those who have seen Suzy's powerful arms don't know any information about Suzy's arms and heroes. Seeing this scene, He Wushwang sighed inwardly. He felt that Suzy's inability to join his club was a loss to their club. Look, Suzy is on the 78th floor. Already on the same floor as Feng Zixuan, the speed is too fast. From the beginning to now, even in just an hour, it has already hit the 78th floor. He thinks he might even be able to climb the Tongtian Monument. If he climbs the Tongtian Monument, he can get 100 million contribution points. Hiss, it has been so many years since no one from Phoenix Academy has climbed the Tongtian Monument. I have to ask someone to come and see it. How is it possible? The Tongtian Monument is so easy to climb. Whether you can climb the Tongtian Monument, you have to wait for him to reach the 90th floor, and that is the real test. That's right, it's too early to say. But he is the person most likely to be on the Tongtian Monument in the Phoenix Academy in the past 100 years. Outside the Tongtian Pagoda, more and more students gathered, all looking at the Tongtian Pagoda. Some people have even opened the market, betting on which floor they can get to. Tongtian Tower, 78 floors. Call. The red flame vermilion bird soaring in the sky burst out a red flame that seemed to ignite the air. Boom. The red flame directly ignited the giant swamp crocodiles that were as big as mountains, and burned them to ashes. Ha, finally dead. Feng Zixuan was not only relieved when she saw the monster that turned into light spots and dissipated. These giant crocodiles are not only incompatible with the vermilion bird attribute of the fire attribute. The thick scales on its body were unable to be melted even by the flames of vermilion bird. Hey, someone came up. Is it Xiaonan? Feng Zixuan was a little surprised to see the world began to divide. Remembering that she and Xiaonan entered the Tongtian Tower almost at the same time. Unexpectedly, he was able to catch up from behind. But when the beam disappears, she was surprised. It wasn't Xiaonan who came out, but Suzy. Feng Zixuan's eyes lit up, and she felt a little excited. In fact, Feng Zixuan was still somewhat unconvinced. After all, they are lords. The real combat power is the hero, not the subsidiary. Last time you beat my vermilion bird with Ex Machina, this time you can see how your plant hero is doing. The moment Suzy appeared, he also saw Feng Zixuan. Nodding slightly to her. Roar. Roar, roar, one after another, it sounded like beast roars from the barbaric days. Hundreds of ancient giants the size of mountains, covered with copper-colored scales appeared. Instantly surrounded Suzy and the nine-leaf sword grass. The quality of these ancient giant crocodiles is at the top even among the purple qualities. A suit of leather armor that can't even burn my vermilion bird's flames. The defense is amazing. Furthermore, these ancient giant crocodiles are very agile and powerful. With a single palm, they are enough to lift 3 mountains. 0. Asking for flowers. I don't know how he will respond. Feng Zixuan whispered. There are hundreds of purple quality ancient giant crocodiles, and each of them has reached level 94. Their strength is terrifying. On the other hand, looking at Suzy's side. But it is as tall as a person. Grass. Feng Zixuan looked at the shape of the 9-leaf sword grass and could only say so. But she was not so stupid as to think that Suzy's hero is really just a grass. If so, it is impossible to come to the 78th floor. And, when she saw the grass, it seemed that what she saw was not grass, but a sword exuding endless sword energy. Facing hundreds of giant crocodiles with bloody mouths, Suzy did not panic. There was a flash of light on 9-leaf sword grass. Standing in the air, the soaring sword energy exploded from his body. Cut. A voice with supreme dominance and majesty resounded through the entire space. I saw the 9 sword leaves of the 9-leaf sword grass, slowly bowing, then draw a circular arc. Brush. The arc-shaped sword energy rose against the wind, and directly struck the scales of hundreds of ancient giant crocodiles. Puff. Under the flames of vermilion bird, the bronze-colored scales persisted for a long time. But at the moment of being swept by the sword energy, it was cut and cut. Next moment, Feng Zixuan's eyes widened. Hundreds of ancient giant crocodiles were directly cut in half, and then turned into light spots and dissipated. How come? Feng Zixuan couldn't help exclaiming. Hundreds of purple-quality ancient giant crocodiles were killed by one blow. Is this the plant department? Feng Zixuan was stunned. This kind of sword-like capable of tearing everything apart, even legendary races, might not be able to resist Lu. Report. 52%. Chapter 11. Legendary, Star Dragon. Incredible speed. The 79th floor. Climb to the 79th floor, another instant kill. I remember that there are hundreds of ancient giant crocodiles on the 78th floor, not only powerful. Moreover, its scale armor is comparable to top-quality purple armor. Even if you want to break through its defense, it will be difficult, but Suzy is an instant kill again. Brother, come quickly, there is a monster among the freshmen today. Someone started calling friends. Who is not a monster who can enter Phoenix Academy? What is there to be excited about? Then what if this person can climb the Tongtian Monument? What? Board the Tongtian Monument and wait for me. I'll be right there. Originally in the Phoenix Academy, the lords who were not interested in newcomers challenging the Tongtian Tower also left one after another. There are newcomers who challenge the Tongtian Pagoda for the first time, and it is possible to climb the Tongtian Monument, which is simply out of line. 367. Chong Chong, Big Brother is awesome. Climb the Tongtian Monument, and I, Fatty Wang, will follow Dingtian from now on. Fatty Wang's face was flushed with excitement, and his mouth was wide open. Your Highness is amazing. Bai Mengmeng's face was about to burst into laughter, and the rabbit in her unconscious arms seemed to have rolled her eyes from being strangled. The two girls, Xiao Wanqing and Chu Yuyan, looked at each other and smiled, flirting with Yu Rong. Climb to the Tongtian Pagoda, and when your parents come back, you will be surprised. Even Muzzy Li had a smile on his face at this time. Happy for my little nephew. The potential is not bad, not worse than Qingying back then, even stronger. No wonder even Qingying couldn't help but accept disciples. But the catastrophe of becoming a god is a little troublesome. 600,000 kilometers, no, it seems that it hasn't come to an end yet, and he is very angry. Forget it, if he still hasn't become a god after 100 years, go to Feng Wang and ask her to discuss with Tiandao. In the void of Phoenix Academy, a figure with a peerless figure murmured faintly, and the surrounding space seemed to be unable to withstand its pressure, and there was a faint tendency to collapse. Suzy and Feng Zixuan climbed to the 79th floor almost at the same time. But after a minute, Suzy took the 9-leaf sword grass to the 80th floor. But Feng Zixuan's vermilion bird is being besieged by hundreds of prehistoric beasts. I won't admit defeat. Feng Zixuan bit her white teeth lightly, clenched her fists tightly. A kind of powerlessness rose in my heart. If Feng Judian were here, he would definitely pat her on the shoulder to comfort her. Back then, facing Wu Qingying, why wasn't she like this? Congratulations, you have passed the 80th floor assessment, and you will be rewarded with 7,000 contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? Congratulations, you have passed the assessment on the 81st floor, and you will be rewarded with 7,500 contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? Congratulations, you have passed the 82nd floor assessment and will be rewarded with 8,000 contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? Congratulations, you have passed the 83rd floor assessment, and you will be rewarded with 9,000 contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? There are constant reminders in my ears. Entering the 80th floor, the rewards for each contribution point will increase again. Suzy is not only a little happy. The more contribution points the better. Congratulations, you have passed the 90th floor assessment, and you will be rewarded with 96,000 contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? Yes. Suzy looked solemn. The next floor will enter the legendary area. 91 floors. When the light fades, the figures of Suzy and 9-leaf sword grass appeared. At the same time, in a huge space, a body that is tens of thousands of meters high, weighs tens of millions of tons, and towers like a mountain emerges. Just appear. The terrifying aura on his body seemed to overwhelm all life. The whole body is wrapped in starlight. 2 icy eyes, like the bright moon, shone with icy light. Congratulations, you have come to the 91st floor. On this floor, you will face the legendary 95th level Starry Sky Dragon. You will get 100,000 contribution points if you pass the assessment. Reminder. In this layer, your hero will be at risk of death. Do you want to continue? A reminder sounded beside my ears. Suzy not only looked at the giant dragon that seemed to cover the entire sky. Name. Star Dragon. Race. Dragon. Level. 95. Physical. 9 million. Agility. 9.6 million. Spirit. 8.8 million. Skills: Dragon Breath, Starfall Strike, Sub-God Speed, Star Cannon. Rules: Starry Sky Law, 50%. Introduction: according to the legend, the size of the body ranks among the top 3 among the dragons. Starry Sky Dragon. This is the legendary dragon clan. Suzy looked at the majestic body, the light in his eyes flashed. Physique is 9 million, agility is as high as 9.6 million, and spirit is as high as 8.8 million. This kind of data is only at level 95. If it is a level 99 star dragon, all the data will definitely be full. Under God, invincible. There is no doubt about the power of Starry Sky Dragon. However, my 9-leaf swordgrass is a hero of the highest level. Not to mention it is still under level suppression. Suzy smiled. Continue. Ascending to the 91st floor, he will face the 95th level Starry Sky Dragon. This dragon species is the rarest and most terrifying even among the giant dragons. From the 91st floor, facing the legendary race, even because it is simulated by the Tongtian Tower, its thinking will be extremely calm, and it will be more difficult to kill. Many lords who passed level 90 were defeated by Starry Sky Dragon. Even if 5.2 does not exit in time, heroes may be killed. For the evildoers who can climb the Tongtian Monument, the competition is not whether they can pass, but the speed. Whoever is faster, after climbing the Tongtian Monument, will have a higher ranking. Entering the legendary level, his speed will inevitably drop. 91st floor, it's not that easy. Under the Tongtian Tower, all eyes are on the 91st floor, waiting for the 91st floor Tongtian Tower to be lit. However, they all think that this level can no longer be as easy as before. They have been prepared for a long time. However, just then, the 91-story Tongtian Tower suddenly burst into extreme light. 91 floors. Clearance. Report. 53%. Chapter 12. Luck and Concepts. Changes in the Tongtian Monument. Hiss. This moment. Outside the Tongtian Tower, countless people gasped. That's a legendary Starry Sky Dragon. How could it be an instant kill again? Impossible. The Starry Sky Dragon of level 95 legendary quality is already the top race in the universe. What kind of race can instantly kill the Starry Sky Dragon? It's scary. It's too scary. Facing the Star Dragon, it's good enough to escape, but Suzy's hero actually crushed it directly. I kind of believe that Su Luo will be able to climb the Tongtian Pagoda. Being able to break through the Tongtian Tower on the 91st floor so quickly, this speed is among the best among the lords who have climbed the Tongtian Tower. Damn it, the boss is awesome. Just now not only other people thought that Suzy would be blocked for a period of time, but Fatty Wong also thought so. After all, it is a legendary Starry Sky Dragon. Before becoming a god, few races dare to say that they will definitely be able to win the Star Dragon. Even though the Star Dragon on the 91st floor is only 95th, its strength is still shockingly powerful. When facing Suzy, still killed by Sec 06, it can be seen that the strength of Suzy hero is extraordinary. Good boy, what kind of hero is this? The sword energy emitted can actually shatter the space. In the void, the hidden voice was a little surprised. Her gaze saw the whole process of the 9-leaf swordgrass killing the Starry Sky Dragon on the 91st floor. That blow has already exceeded the limit of the demigod level. Shatter the space and drag the Star Dragon into the turbulent flow of space. Only then did the Starry Sky Dragon be instantly killed. If it can become a god, after endless years, maybe the plant department will grow into an existence that can be equal to the machinery department. As an expander, his future will be very difficult. To spread the concept of the plant system to the universe, without the help of the original race, it may not be successful until the god's domain collapses. The figure in purple murmured softly. However, if he can really change the concept of plants with his own power, it may be very promising. After achieving the gods, the achievement of a lord is closely related to its unit template. The stronger the concept of arms, the more cosmic luck its concept occupies, and the faster its rise. This is why everyone wants a legendary template. A quality difference. The luck and concepts involved have been turned upside down. Take Ruyan Lu as an example. The previous unit template was Snake Man. The concept of snake people in the universe only belongs to the lower race of orcs. It can't be compared with concepts such as dragons and angels at all. This is doomed, its future achievements are limited. Unless the concept of snake people is changed. Like the birth of a supreme being, and then in endless ages. Only by reversing the cosmic sea, and countless races' cognition of it, can it be possible to continue to become stronger. But now, Lu Ruyan's unit evolved into a legendary template snake. Then it can accommodate the luck and concepts of all snakes. While in the universe, although the Snake Clan is not supreme, there are many powerful god emperors, and many concepts are related to the supreme race Dragon Clan. Then its upper limit will be infinitely raised. And the reason why Wu Qingying can dominate an era. It is because Vermilion Bird reached a contract with the human race for the first time thousands of years ago. The Vermilion Bird template was born. With the help of Vermilion Bird's original Supreme Overlord race luck and human luck. The combination of the two created Wu Qingying, who has been overwhelming for a lifetime. In the universe, all races are keen to spread their own concepts and establish an image of their race as invincible. Even the three big blacks are no exception. Every attack on the universe sea is an expansion of their own concept. It will allow them to give birth to countless strong men. And the concept of plants in the universe can be imagined. Congratulations, you have passed the 91st floor assessment, and you will be rewarded with 100,000 contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? Congratulations, you have passed the 92nd floor assessment, and you will be rewarded with 200,000 contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? Congratulations, you have passed the 93rd floor assessment, and you will be rewarded with 400,000 contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? Congratulations, you have passed the 94th floor assessment, and you will be rewarded with 800,000 contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? Congratulations, you have passed the 95th floor assessment, and you will be rewarded with 1.6 million contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? Yes, Suzy is full of fighting spirit. After challenging Star Dragon, he also encountered 4 powerful legendary races, including Frost Titan, Nether Dragon, Baijin Beeman, and Phoenix. Even though they are very powerful, they were still crushed by the 9-leaf sword grass. The further back, the more contribution points rewarded. At this time, buying the 8th turn, the contribution points of the land are already enough. Even the contribution points required for the 9th round have already been met. 620, but Suzy has no intention of stopping. Such a good opportunity. You must go to the top in one go. Continue, Suzy answered loudly. And he didn't know. At this moment, the outside world has exploded. All over the blue star. The Tongtian monument of Wushu Academy suddenly erupted with a dazzling beam of Tongtian light. And on the pillar of light, an inscription is engraved impressively. Suzy. Thousands of years later, the Tongtian monument was activated again, Suzy, which seems to be the name of the Shengxia Empire. Being able to climb the Tongtian monument is eligible to be remembered by me, Suzy, looking forward to your future. The Tongtian monument has changed. Has another evildoer who crushed the same generation been born? This time it is still from the east. Suzy, check it out for me, I want to know all his information. The direction of Phoenix Academy. Come here, prepare gifts, call the beautiful girl in the clan, and follow me to Phoenix Academy. Damn it, the Shengxia Empire is really lucky. The birth of Wu Qingying thousands of years ago is not enough, and now there is another evildoer born. When will I, the Sakura God Kingdom, be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with it? For a time, the wind was surging and the undercurrent was surging. Report, 53%. Chapter 13. 5-clawed golden dragon, 9-leaf sword grasses hobbies. FK, Suzy has really climbed onto the Tongtian monument. I have witnessed history. Anyone who can leave a name on the Tongtian monument will at least be able to become a high god in the future. Suzy's future will be extremely brilliant. On the Tongtian monument, his name will be recorded on the Tongtian monument of all the schools in the entire blue star. This is the glory of the world. Even if he dies in the future, he will be remembered for endless years. Suzy, our Phoenix Academy is once again a dragon. The Lord Vermilion Bird thousands of years ago is also on the Tongtian monument. The 2 masters and apprentices boarded the Wei monument together. Are they trying to defy the sky? Climb the Tongtian monument. The school will reward 100 million contribution points. That's 100 million contribution points. Look at his ranking. It has reached more than 930,000, and it is the first time to enter more than 930,000. Boss, awesome. Fatty Wong was beyond excited. Those who can climb the Tongtian monument will surely have unlimited potential in the future. And he will undoubtedly be the most outstanding person in this generation of the Wong family. He really got on the Tongtian monument. Wushwang looked up at the bronzing characters on the Tongtian monument, a look of regret flashed across his face. Maybe he should choose Suzy. But now it is too late to regret. In fact, it's not just him, his club members have already come to the Tongtian monument. Looking at Suzy's name. Regret their previous decision. I boarded the Tongtian monument, the old guys at home should already know about it. This is something that the little guys in the family can't do. Moreover, this is probably just the beginning. The first time I entered the Tongtian Monument, there were more than 930,000 people. It will definitely be even more amazing. Backquote. Li Muzzy couldn't help chuckling. He was proud of his sister, and also happy for Suzy. Yes, the future is promising. In the void, the stunningly beautiful woman in purple dress had a rare smile on her face. 3 generations of the same line, all on the Tongtian Monument, is also considered a beautiful story. She is naturally also on the Tongtian Monument. It's just that the name is at the forefront of the Tongtian Monument, shrouded in the light of chaos. Has my apprentice boarded the Tongtian Monument? Vermilion bird collar. Wu Qingying couldn't help being surprised when she saw the message from Master. I just arrived at the school yesterday, and I went to the Tongtian Monument today. It's not bad. It has the style I used to. Wu Qingying praised. However, the master has met Suzy, and he seems to be very satisfied. With a master at the school, even if I leave Blue Star, I don't have to worry about being bullied by the big. Wu Qingying thought of this and smiled lightly. No more worries. 96th floor of Tongtian Tower. Congratulations, you have come to the 96th floor. On this floor, you will face the legendary quality level 97, 5-clawed golden dragon. After passing the assessment, you will get 5 million contribution points. Would you like to continue? Just after arriving at the 96th floor, Suzy heard an ethereal reminder in his ear. 5-clawed golden dragon, the dragon clan of the East. Suzy couldn't help being curious when he heard this. There are 2 dragon families in the universe. One is based on star dragon. Winged giant dragons such as starry sky dragons. Its race is also the overlord race in the universe. There are 2 supreme dragons in the clan. Because there is one supreme ruler in the West. It is the highest achievement with the dragon template. Therefore, this dragon template is more popular in the West. Known as the Western Dragon Clan. A sort of. It is a dragon family similar to the 5-clawed golden dragon. It is also the overlord race. The 2 supreme rulers of the clan. Because the Shengxia Empire has a supreme being. Use this to prove the truth. Therefore this dragon family, it is more popular in the East, known as the Oriental Dragon. The 2 dragon races have been fighting for millions of years in the universe. But until now, there is still no winner. At the same time, a 5-clawed golden dragon with golden light, tens of thousands of meters long and almost occupying the entire sky appeared from the void. 2 eyes, like 2 blazing suns, stared at Suzy. At the moment of appearance, as soon as Shenlong swung its tail, it swept over. Boom, boom, the void is pumped, the air is cut. Almost in the blink of an eye, they were already in front of them. Quote exclamation mark quote. The figure of the 9-leaf sword grass disappeared in an instant, and a sword leaf was directly chopped on the tail drawn by the 5-clawed golden dragon. Boom, the air was directly pumped, causing the void to vibrate. Brush, the tail of the 5-clawed golden dragon was instantly chopped off. Roar, the 5-clawed golden dragon roared, and there was a sharp pain from its tail, and Li Hao's hot dragon blood was falling. But the 9-leaf sword grass didn't give him a chance to get angry. Next moment, the figure appeared directly above the 5-clawed golden dragon's head. Cut. The 9 sword leaves of the 9-leaf sword grass were cut directly on the neck of the 9-clawed golden dragon. Puff. The huge sword light directly separated the 5-clawed golden dragon's head from its body. Plop. A huge dragon head and body fell into the space. Congratulations, you have passed the 96th floor assessment and rewarded 5 million contribution points. Do you want to continue the challenge? An ethereal reminder sounded in my ears. Suzy looked at the 5-clawed dragon that turned into light spots and dissipated, and then at 9-leaf sword grass Mai. Xiaoju seems to like beheading. Report. 53%. Chapter 14. The 99th floor Tongtian Tower, qualification to enter the 100th floor. Let her go. Suzy thought about it, and it didn't matter. Although she likes beheading, it is also the head of the enemy. It's already 96 floors, and it's not far from the 100th floor. Suzy is looking forward to continue to the next level. Suzy didn't hesitate. A Tongtian light beam directly took Suzy and 9-leaf sword grass away. 98 floors. Suzy encountered a 98-level legendary phoenix. Almost just appeared. Suzy and 9-leaf sword grass were buried in a sea of flames. But Suzy is powerful. This flame is nothing to him. But the fire element is the nemesis of plants. In addition, this is even more powerful phoenix fire, which already comes with the law of fire. If you get a little bit of it, you won't be able to shake it off. Also here, Xiaoju was injured for the first time. Even if the 9 sword leaves are wrapped by the mighty sword energy, they block the flames. But up to thousands, even tens of thousands of temperatures. but it also makes the skin tear. Moreover, the speed of the phoenix is extremely fast, and Yi Jiansao does not have the slightest thought of going head to head. Instead, he released Phoenix Flame 077 once, and then desperately flew away. At last, it took a full 10 minutes. Only then did the 9-leaf sword grass split Phoenix's body from head to tail. As can be seen, Xiao Ju was indeed angry. Tongtian Tower, 99th floor. Congratulations, you have come to the 99th floor. On this floor, you will face 4 legendary 99th level, 4 holy beasts. After passing the assessment, you will get 50 million contribution points. Your hero has a great possibility of death. Do you want to continue? The familiar reminder sounded again. The 4 holy beasts come out together. Su Zi's pupils froze. The so-called 4 holy beasts are Qinglong, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, and Xuanwu. 4 powerful beasts. The 4 of them gathered together. The power exerted is not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. In cooperation with each other, its combat power will be doubled. And they have all reached the pinnacle below the gods. Continue. Su Zi did not refuse. I have already come here, how can I give up? In his territory, he has the Hall of Valor, and he is not afraid of death. And, with the power of the 9-leaf sword grass, it is not certain who will win. Su Zi's eyes looked at Xiao Ju. 9-leaf sword grass. Race, plant, quality, supreme, grade, 97, bloodline, 9-leaf sword grass. Talent, practice the sword to become stronger. Physique, 30 million. Agility, 36 million. Spirit, 39 million. Skill, grassword sword art. The way of the sword, 70%. Loyalty, 100% permanent. Introduction, cut off time and space, cut open the universe, and destroy all enemies. Xiao Ju's various attributes have already surpassed the mortal realm several times, even with 1 enemy 4, he is still invincible. Su Zi has great confidence in the 9-leaf sword grass. At this time, the 9-leaf sword grass. But level 97 is not yet complete. If it's level 99, it is the real killing of legends like killing chickens. As soon as Su Zi finished speaking, in the 4 directions of east, west, south and west, a divine beast appears respectively. East, a cyan hovering body exuding a terrifying aura suddenly appeared. Among the oriental dragons, the top dragon species, Qinglong. The west, a huge white AGBJ tiger with a shimmering golden killing aura slowly appeared in the void. Among the tiger clan, the most powerful royal clan, White Tiger. South, one was bathed in flames, spread out a pair of fire wings, and condensed out. Fire spirits of the south, Vermilion Bird. North, a giant tortoise as thick and huge as a mountain. On its back, a gigantic snake with a gloomy and cold air is wrapped around it. The water god of the north, Xuanwu. 4 great beasts. Separate the quartet. Surround Su Zi and the 9-leaf sword grass. Kill. 9-leaf sword grass never talks nonsense. The moment the 4 great beasts appeared, the battle has already begun. Half an hour later, 9-leaf sword grass appeared beside Su Zi. A reminder sounded in his ears. Congratulations, you have passed the 99th floor assessment and will be rewarded with 50 million contribution points. 17. The Tongtian Tower has 100 floors, and there is only 1 floor of trees left. Su Zi was a little puzzled when he heard this. According to the display, your level has not yet reached level 99, so it is judged that you are not qualified to challenge the 100th floor. Beep sounded. What kind of assessment can you come after reaching level 99? Su Zi couldn't help asking when he heard this. On the 100th floor, you will face the gods. For the safety of you and your heroes, welcome to come back next time. God. Su Zi's pupils constrict. He did not expect. The 100th floor actually has to face the gods. Has anyone passed the 100th floor? No, it seems that through the 99th floor, great authority has been obtained. In the face of Su Zi's questions, the prompts often answer immediately. Even for the current 9-leaf swordgrass, it is difficult to face the gods, let alone other lords. Su Zi thought to himself. After going out, quickly upgrade the territory to level 99. At that time, the 9-leaf swordgrass may have the qualifications to fight the gods. It's just that after going out, it will take a year to come back, there is time. If you pass the Tongtian Tower on the 99th floor, the permission is unlocked. You can come to challenge the Tongtian Tower on the 100th floor at any time after reaching level 99. Oh, it's really like someone gave me a pillow when I was dozing off. Su Zi chuckled. That's reasonable, if you really wait another year. Su Zi didn't know if he was still in Phoenix Academy. Go, wait until the next time you come, it will be the moment to challenge the gods. Report. 53%. Chapter 15. Grandmaster, hidden name, climbing to the top. Now everything is ready. Level 99 is not far away. Looking forward to your arrival. I don't know if it was an illusion, but Susie felt that there was a hint of respect in this reminder. It's an illusion. Susie shook his head, and took the 9-leaf sword grass back to his territory for cultivation. Gone, gone, finally gone. After Susie left, a thankful and relaxed voice echoed in the 99th floor world. When the 3 major dark planes invaded, and when the spirit of the human race was turbulent, the blue star gave birth to a new plant-type evildoer, which made me feel like I saw those people back then. The voice murmured. Outside Tongtian Pagoda, a beam of light flashed, and Susie was teleported out. He looked a little happy. Gain has gained too many contribution points this time. Plus the final 50 million contribution points. This passed through the Tongtian Tower, supply and harvest contribution points of 83.5 million. Before he is happy, a force that was extremely tyrannical suddenly imprisoned the void. Susie's complexion changed. You can use your strength to try to break free. But with his strength beyond the ordinary 9th order hundreds, he couldn't break free from the shackles of space. The surrounding space, even time, seems to be frozen. Next moment, the space seemed to be moved, and his figure disappeared from the original place. Little guy, don't be nervous. A pleasant voice like a spring breeze rang in my ears. At the same time, Susie also found that he had regained his freedom, and immediately looked not far away vigilantly. A graceful woman in a luxurious purple dress and a purple veil. Senior, district, Susie was horrified, wondering what kind of strong woman the woman in front of her was. His virtualization had no effect in front of him. To know, the superior Shendu can't do anything with Susie. But it easily sent Susie over. Its strength is at least that of a god king, or even higher. Me, Wu Qingying called me master. What do you think you should call me? The cold and elegant voice floated in this inexplicable void. Susie's heart trembled when he heard this, but at the same time he was relieved. Master. Susie bowed respectfully to her. Luo Li nodded slightly, her figure dissipated, and appeared beside Susie. I called you here to protect your safety. Luo Li's clear and majestic voice sounded. Susie is puzzled. In the core place of the human race, Phoenix Academy, there is still danger. See for yourself. Luo Li didn't explain, her white fingers lightly tapped in front of her. The void was slightly rippling, and a scene under the Tongtian Pagoda appeared in a mirror. I saw that the number of people in the entire square had reached tens of thousands. This is almost all the people who stay in the academy. Not only old and new students. It is the teachers of the academy and Palace Master Mo Shang. At this moment, it is like petrification, looking at the Tongtian Monument, bursting out of the Tongtian beam of light. Susie glanced over the Tongtian Monument, frowning slightly. Millions of bronzing names, except for the thousands of names that are covered at the front. He didn't even see his name. Impossible. Susie thought about it. The speed at which he reached the 99th floor should not be slow. Can't even reach the top million. What are you thinking? Look again. Luo Li naturally understood Susie's doubts. She tapped her jade finger again. On the Tongtian Monument, thousands of names covered by the divine light of chaos were gradually revealed. These people whose names have been concealed are either hidden peerless evildoers, or they have reached the peak of the God King, or they have already become God Emperors. Luo Li said lightly. At the same time, he looked at the 5th place, and the word, Luo Li, was impressively engraved on it. This name was originally in the 4th place, and it has been preserved for an unknown number of billions of years. But now he is suppressed by his juniors. 0. Ask for flowers. Susie looked from bottom to top. See the names of characters that are enough to scare people to death. Blue stars hundreds of millions of years of history have preserved their names. Starry Sky God Emperor, Lin Shi, ranked 4th, and his arms are Starry Sky giant beasts. It is rumored that in the starry universe opened up by it, any giant beast is bigger than a star. Quote. TCH, that guy is relying on his rough skin and thick flesh. Hearing Susie's words, he sounded a little disdainful. Susie turned his head and glanced at Master Zhu, suspecting that he had heard wrong. What? Am I wrong? Oh. Unexpectedly, the master gave him a direct stare. Susie hurriedly replied. Yes, you are always right. Susie doesn't want to argue with his master who has lived for so many years. The God Emperor of Luoshui, Luoli, is ranked 5th, and his arms are the mythical Luoshan clan. It is rumored that in the Luoshui universe, every planet is a boundless sea, and the Luoshan clan lives in it. Walk out of one at will, and you can compete with dragons and angels. Susie saw a name he had heard before. The one who really made Luoshui God Emperor civilized. It is the legend that it once flooded the 10 major universes, which completely established its supreme status. The giant Long Tian is nothing. How can he compare with Luoshan? The master replied again. Suzy, this master seems to be as straightforward as his master. No wonder he can become a master and apprentice. As for the two names above, Long Chen and Lin Peng, Suzy searched, but couldn't find any information about them. Don't think about it. Those two guys have disappeared for many years. I don't know whether they are dead or alive. Luo Li shook her head and said, endless years have passed, and there are not many old friends who still exist. Suzy nodded and looked towards the third. There are two large and clear characters engraved on it. Suzy, work, report, 54%. Chapter 16. Horror rewards, positions in the sequence, and the road to the future. That's right, you are number 1, which is much better than your 200,000 masters. Luo Li said softly. Suzy looked at the name at the top. Smiling slightly, I felt a little proud in my heart. The name will stay here forever. Then Suzy read it again. There should also be the name of the master on it, but unfortunately I don't know what the master's name is. Snapped. The back of Suzy's head was hit hard by Master's jade knuckle. Don't be distracted, listen carefully, the next thing is very important to you. Luo Li coughed twice and said to Suzy. Looking at Suzy's glances over and over again, one can tell what is going on in Suzy's mind. How could she tell Suzy, 040, being crushed by his disciples and grandchildren? Is she shameless? Suzy, the following is the school's reward for climbing the Tongtian Monument. Luo Li's voice was somewhat serious. There are rewards. Suzy was pleasantly surprised. Naturally, if you can climb the Tongtian Monument, you have already made the school proud of you, not to mention that you have become the number 1. Luo Li said slowly, her voice softened a bit. She is naturally proud that her disciple and grandson can reach the top. After meeting Feng Wang, she has something to brag about. First of all, it is the reward of contribution points, a one-time reward of 10 billion contribution points. Luo Li said. Hiss. Suzy's eyes widened instantly, and his breathing became short of breath. 10 billion contribution points. Seeing Suzy's expression, Luo Li's pretty face under the veil smiled slightly. It would have been impossible to reward so much. But who made himself the founder of the mansion, and Suzy his disciple? Anyway, it belongs to the public, so it is appropriate to give more benefits to his apprentices. Dissatisfied, if you don't agree, you should also go to the top of the Tongtian Monument. Don't rush to surprise, there are more. Secondly, the school association will declare the sequence quota for you. Having said this, Lu Li couldn't help being a little more solemn. The number of places in the sequence is determined by the supreme masters our Shengxia Empire. The purpose is to cultivate the younger generation of our Shengxia Empire. Recently, the movement of the human race has been violent. I have vaguely noticed that the luck of the human race seems to have increased a lot, but it has been covered up by the supreme beings, so I don't know the details. If the guess is true, our human race may have one more or even several high-ranking ministers. However, this time will be very long. Whether you can seize this opportunity depends on you. Luo Li warned. In fact, many god emperors like her have noticed a slight difference. Are already preparing to hit the heights. But this time, it may be in units of 10,000 years and 10,000 years. And Suzy is unparalleled in talent and evildoer, and is the first batch of new lords in the Great Era. They fulfilled their highest hopes. Maybe bigger than a god emperor. That's why Luo Li is full of expectations for her little disciple and grandson. Suzy nodded heavily and kept it in his heart. With this sequence quota, you will be able to obtain the cultivation of the resources of the entire Shengxia Empire. This is a treatment that those supreme families do not have. And there will be a god king as your teacher, directly responsible to you. In the entire Shengxia Empire, there are only 5 places in this batch. Luo Li said, a little proud. This quota cannot be obtained by anyone who wants to obtain it. It must be recognized by the highest level. And the young disciple Suzy, who climbed to the top of the Tongtian Monument, is the best proof. His quota, steady. However, it may take some time for this quota to be reviewed. Counting you now, there are only 3 to be confirmed. We need to collect 5 and submit them to the Supreme Review. During this time, there may be some flies that bother you, so you just dismiss them. Luo Li said indifferently. Those god emperor families or supreme families have been coveting the places in their hands for a long time. But she just won't give them. If they knew that they had handed over the places to their apprentices, they might not be able to resist coming out to challenge them. But I have my own back, let Suzy fight as he pleases. Suzy nodded. Naturally, he would not hand over his own things. Big deal, hit, whoever you are. After talking about the rewards, let's talk about your future path to becoming a god. Luo Li changed her voice and said to Su. You are the first lord to cultivate plant arms to this point. Furthermore, you have only turned 7, and your territory already has an area of 600,000 square kilometers. This area is too huge. Luo Li's cherry lips parted slightly, describing Suzy's situation. Standing at an absolute height, she explained the future road and obstacles to Suzy. Luck. Concept. This moment, Suzy is like a sponge, constantly absorbing the knowledge imparted by his master. It makes up for Suzy's lack of the calamity of becoming a god and the road after becoming a god. It also gave him a clearer picture of his future path. Spread the concept of plants and let plants rise in the universe. Through the concept, gather the universe, sea and air. The road to condense into a god, the road to the highest. Master's words. It's like opening a skylight for Suzy. Open up the road to become 3.7. Okay, that's all. The master leads the door, and the cultivation depends on the individual. Your master should have told you these things, but she still wants to suppress the universe. I, the master, will explain it to you. Finally, remember to save the 10 billion contribution points that will be rewarded to you, except for the necessary, it's better to exchange some more plant-based units and hero tokens. You will need it in the future. After speaking, Luo Li's figure gradually disappeared. Congratulations to the ancestor. Suzy immediately bowed down. The master's teaching to him this time has helped him a lot. Enough to affect his life. Next moment, the figure of Suzy appeared under the Tongtian Tower again. Report. 54%. Chapter 17. Sensation, Crazy Exchange, Legendary Building Myriad Realms Spring. Suzy is out. Hey, after tens of thousands of years, I'm afraid I will be able to tell my descendants that I was in the same class as Suzy. He actually broke into the top 1000. I don't know where his final ranking is. Being able to climb the Tongtian Monument is enough for Gaia's generation, but he rushed into the divine light of chaos. It's hard to imagine that a god emperor will be born in our class. Hurry up. If you can get in touch with Suzy, you can achieve a high position casually. I don't know if Mr. Suzy still lacks bed warmers, I think I can. Seeing Suzy appear, there was an instant commotion in the crowd. Don't worry. Fatty Wong is full of joy. A large number of arrogances and saintesses who used to be high above gathered around. But at this moment, he only wants to get acquainted with Suzy through him. Seeing Suzy appear, immediately push everyone away. 06 Protecting Xiao Wanqing, Bai Mengmeng and Chu Yuyan came to Suzy's side. At the same time, he acted as a guard, using his fat body to erect a human wall for Suzy. Back, don't bother my brother. Fatty Wong cleared the way for Suzy and the girls. Congratulations, Your Highness, for ascending the Tongtian Monument. Chu Yuyan and Bai Mengmeng congratulated Suzy. Your Highness, do you know your ranking? Bai Mengmeng asked curiously. You guess. Suzy smiled mysteriously. Did not tell them, afraid they would be frightened. Bid them farewell. Then he pulled Xiao Wanqing and flew directly to Villa number 81. Knowing the way ahead, he can't wait to transform the territory. Spread the concept and seek luck. He has a lot of ideas in his mind. Can be realized. After Suzy left, the impact it caused spread to the entire human race at a terrifying speed. Even alien races in the universe heard the news. First, Suzy has reached the top. The Tongtian Monument has reached the top. Li Muzzy stood still. She knew that Suzy was talented and evil, but she never thought that he could reach the top of the Tongtian Monument. Even every god emperor was suppressed by him. The chaotic god light on the Tongtian Monument can block the middle god and below, but can't stop the upper god. No, this news has to shock everyone else. Then, Li Muzzy sent the news to the group chat of the original women's army. FK, the military lord's disciple is so evil. Climbing to the top of the Tongtian Monument, I am a god, the military master is already so evil, and the apprentice is even more evil. At Junzu, I have a great-great-great-granddaughter who is 18 years old and looks like a country, let's get closer. At Junzu, he is unmarried, and I am unmarried, how about a thread? Little bitch, you are shameless and want old cows to eat tender grass. FK, it's only a few thousand years old, what is it to you and me? It makes sense. Wu Qingying, who was arranging his subordinates, felt the news from the communication body. After seeing it, I exclaimed immediately. He actually made it to the top. Wu Qingying felt a little horrified. When she first chose Suzy as her disciple, she never imagined that there would be such a day. Now Suzy is even more sought after. Feng Judian also saw the news and couldn't help feeling a little worried. Suzy is even more evil, and now even the sisters in the Legion want to attack. For this, Suzy didn't know. He had brought Xiao Wanqing back to the villa, and at the same time opened the Phoenix Mall. With 10 billion contribution points in hand, he can let go of the flowers. The heart of the world, 1 billion, changed. Suzy immediately exchanged the heart of the world. It is already a great luck to meet this thing. Just because you don't use it now doesn't mean you won't use it in the future. Then Suzy immediately moved to the bottom. 10,000 square kilometers continent, 1,000 contribution points. Suzy directly exchanged 1 million contribution points and a continent of 10 million square kilometers. This area, even if it's a 9-rank territory, it's enough. The spread of the plant concept is inseparable from various plant arms and heroes. Suzy direct search. Then, a series of plant-based units and hero tokens were listed in an instant. Bitter fruit tree troop token, 1 contribution point. Giant tree unit token, 1 contribution point. Fire cactus hero, 1 contribution point. Shy tree troop token, 1 contribution point. Sword and shield tree hero token, 1 contribution point. Seaweed unit token, 1 contribution point. Each one only needs 1 contribution point, and no one wants plant-based tokens. A look of surprise appeared in Suzy's eyes. In the past, there were almost no botanical departments that could come to Phoenix Academy. This allowed the Academy to accumulate countless 813-year-old plant units and hero tokens. Suzy counted slightly, a little shocked. There are more than 3 million arms and hero tokens. Too cheap. Suzy bought them all, and more than 3 million contribution points disappeared immediately. You can also publish tasks on the task list. In the outside shop, there will also be plant-based units and heroes. If you want to spread plants to the sky, the number of troops you need will be unprecedented. Suzy is perfecting the thoughts in his heart. Then read on. The Encyclopedia of Forbidden Spells and Magic, which contains 10,000 forbidden spells, 100 million donation points. From then on, Shaoqi will no longer be short of spells. Legendary item drifting bottle. It's the same function as a small paper boat, sailing the sky, 80 million points, buy it. It is said that the building Wanjiquan can have a certain chance to summon the races in the universe C, 3.5 billion, more expensive than the heart of the world. But if you can use this to discover the world coordinates, it's worth it. Changed. Suzy gritted his teeth and exchanged it. It is impossible for him to break into worlds one by one, spread out from one universe to another. Then he needs others to help him spread. Let the plant system pass through all worlds. Report. 54%. Chapter 18. Life experience, soul fighting continent. 10 billion contribution points. Let Suzy be free to choose from the Phoenix Treasure House. But even so, when all you need is selected, there are 5 billion contribution points left in Suzy's hands. The 5 billion contribution points. Suzy plans to use part of it to issue missions and acquire plant units and heroes. Other parts are left for later. Maybe in the future, there will be other treasure house resources in the treasure house. Done everything. Ding, the treasure you ordered will be delivered soon. At this moment, Xiao suddenly reminded. So fast. Suzy was a little surprised, and immediately opened the door. Here is your ordered package. As Li Zimu said, he handed a box that shone with metallic luster to Su Luo. Uncle Li. Suzy was a little surprised when he saw this person. Well, I'm actually a teacher at Phoenix Academy. As Li Zimu said, he walked into Villa number 81 slowly, and looked around. After receiving the escort mission from the Academy, I realized it was you. You have been rewarded with a lot of contribution points. Not much, not much. Hundreds of millions. Suzy smiled slightly, and closed the door with a snap. Actually, you should call me Auntie. Suddenly, Li Zimu walked up to Suzy gracefully and looked at Su Dao. Auntie. When Suzy heard this, his eyes widened instantly. Before his parents left, they didn't tell him that he still had an aunt. And my aunt is still a high god. If true. It makes sense that the parents can get the legendary building. Your mother's name is Li Shang, she is my older sister. Your father, Su Jingyuan, is my brother-in-law. Li Muzi turned around and looked at the decoration of the room, and continued. Of course, I didn't expect you to believe it so easily. Feel it yourself. After Li Zimu finished speaking, Suzy suddenly found that his blood was speeding up suddenly, and when he looked at Li Muzi, he suddenly felt a little kind. Suzy searched for the memory of her birth. It was too vague and my memory was not very clear. Muzi, let's go first. Don't look for us if you have nothing to do. Suddenly, his mother's voice came to mind. It's really my aunt. The two fulfill each other, and Suzy has already believed in Zhang. The reason why the blood speeds up is because both parties have a common blood. Auntie, then my parents are not dead. After confirming, Su Shi quickly asked. Of course, they are all high gods, how could they die so easily? Li Muzzy complained a little. Look at deceiving children, they can do it. They are just going to deal with the disaster of the God King, and they don't know when they will come back. Suzy heard this and asked in confusion. Since I'm a high god, why did they put me in Qinghai City? Suzy is speechless. When they left, they didn't leave a single source crystal behind. If it wasn't for relying on the food from teacher Lu Ruyan's house, he might have sold himself. Who knows what my sister and the others are thinking? They said that they have to find an expert to figure it out, and there is a chance for you there. Then, regardless of the dissuasion of the two families, he insisted on taking you away. I didn't say where. If I hadn't seen you at the Little Zhu Tianzhou competition, I'm afraid I can't find you now. Li Zimu was quite speechless to the couple. Can fortune tellers be trusted? Yes, even if you can believe it, can't you change it for a good reason? It just happened to say that the two died. I'm afraid the child still burns incense for them every year. Li Zimu couldn't help complaining. Suzy heard black lines all over his head and clenched his fists. He gritted his teeth at the fortune teller. Don't let me know who it is, or you will have to beat me hard. At the same time, North Territory, the capital of machinery. In a garden at the core. Yeah, an energetic old man who was watering the flowers yawned. Who is thinking about my old man again? The old man counted. I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. Except for that grandson, there is no one else. It seems that Muzzy has already told him. Haha, I don't know if he was surprised or not. The old man couldn't help laughing. That kid's marriage is there, how can I not help him, the ringleader? Under Li Muzzy's introduction, Suzy gradually understood everything. It turned out that he was from the Northern Territory. Parents are high gods, very loving. And he was by accident. Grandpa is one of the 4 supreme masters of Shengxia, the mechanical supreme. The family background is prominent, and there are god emperor ancestors in the clan. But he is the worst. Except for the legendary building, Steel City Wall, left at the beginning, everything else is on your own. Fortunately, I am handsome and have a long-term meal ticket as Teacher Lu. Otherwise, it's really hard to say whether I can live to 18. It's good that they're fine. Suzy felt helpless. I can only hope that the two elders will survive the God King tribulation safely. Don't worry, your grandpa did the calculations. They were destined for this calamity, but it was just a near miss. Li Muzzy comforted him. In fact, Li Muzzy felt that the reason why they escaped danger was probably the result of Suzy's luck. Otherwise, how could the catastrophe of becoming a God King be so easy, and it was still 2 people together? I am here this time, in addition to telling Qian Nuohao things to you, I also want to inform you about a newcomer activity after use. Li Muzzy continued. This newcomer event will be led by her. You are facing the calamity of becoming gods, and this alien event is for you to compete for your luck. Although it's just a low-level fantasy world, it's the most suitable for you. Don't be careless, fighting for luck is not just about being strong. Subsequently, after Li Muzzy sent the information of this event to Suzy, he left quietly. Suzy sent Li Muzzy away. Only then did I check the information my aunt gave me. It stands to reason that this information is confidential. But, who made Suzy her nephew? There is no magic, no battle chi, no martial arts, but there is a magical martial soul. This is a world that belongs to the martial soul. Name: Soul Fighting Continent. Report: 54%. Chapter 19. Turn 8 in the territory, put in buildings, and alienate unit tokens. Natural caller. Do you want to consume 2 billion source crystals, 200 million source points, and turn the territory 8 times? Suzy stood under the world tree, and a reminder sounded in front of him. The consumption of rank 8 is even more terrifying. Suzy was not surprised by this, and had been prepared for a long time. Yes, with a voice coming down from the mouth, the source crystal and source point doctor in Suzy's inventory. And the world tree also began to grow wildly again. Chaos is opening up, and the world is rumbling. At the same time, the land under the feet is also spawned in the void. It seems that a real continent is about to be derived. Suzy withdrew from the small world, with a flash of light in his hand. Small squares emerged in his hand. Mainland. Type: terrestrial. Quality: white. Size: 10,000 square kilometers. Function: increase the land area. Introduction: there is not enough land, so borrow one. Go. Suzy integrated 500 continent into the territory. Suddenly, the void outside the territory began to expand outward. At the same time, the territory also expanded. 700,000 kilometers, 800,000 kilometers, 907.3 million kilometers, 1 million kilometers, 2 million kilometers. Increased from 600,000 square kilometers to 2 million square kilometers. It has more than tripled. My strength has more than tripled again. Suzy felt the power in his body that seemed to be able to tear apart everything, and he clenched his fist slightly, and the air instantly made a sound as if it was being crushed. Crack. With Suzy's finger at the front, the space shattered like glass. Suzy surprised. You know, this is the void in his domain. But it has been repeatedly strengthened. This kind of space, don't talk about crushing it. Just want to fly. All require the permission of his Lord. In the Lord's domain, the Lord is everything. But now he shattered it with a single tap. One can imagine how terrifying is Suzy's strength at this moment. Everyone in the territory entered retreat again, and I don't know how long it will last this time. After looking at the situation of the people, Suzy came to North Street alone. This time, the purpose is to build the building Agay in hand. The first is the reward obtained in Shaozudian, the Golden Legend Time House. Suzy held it in his hand. Time House. Type. Time props. Quality. Gold. Grade 1. Function. Time acceleration plus 10%. Time deceleration plus 10%. Introduction. I have 48 hours in a day. It actually involves time. Suzy's expression was shocked, as if he saw something incredible. Time speeds up, speeding up the flow of time in the entire territory. 1 day has passed in the outside world, and 10 days or even more may have passed in the territory. And the lifespan is not reduced. Quote. Time slows down, the same reason. Suzy was amazed. This time room is perhaps his greatest achievement in Shaojudian, not one of them. Suzy has imagined, in the future, he can control the flow of time on any planet and any place in the universe. The birth of the world, the evolution of the universe, the evolution of species. In one thought, throw it out, it grows against the wind, and lands next to the planetary engine. Upgrade. Spend hundreds of thousands of source crystals to raise it to level 98. Suzy looked again. Time House. Grade. 98. Function. Time acceleration plus 1000%. Time deceleration plus 1000%. Introduction. I have 240 hours in a day. The time flow rate is already 10 times the normal flow rate. This building really works after becoming a god. Suzy's eyes are shining. But now you can also open up a place to speed up time. Enough to make their fruits ripen 10 times faster. Suzy glanced around, accelerated time and walked beside Li Quan. Over there, not only can it absorb the rich aura of Li Quan, but it can also accelerate its growth, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Next is the drift bottle. Suzy took out the drifting bottle brought out from the Phoenix treasure house. Drifting bottle. Type. Drift bottle. Quality. Gold. Grade 1. Number of splits. 10. Functions. Infinite splitting, virtual protection, cross-border connection. Introduction. If you pick up drifting bottles with the same number, will you be a couple? Be a fart couple. What I want are the coordinates. Seeing the introduction, Suzy couldn't help complaining. Throwing it into the void rippled, and then merged into it, disappearing. After the drifting bottle entered the void, it immediately began to split and move towards the surroundings. At the same time, it continued to split again on the way. At the same time, in Suzy's mind, twinkling stars appeared one after another. Each star point represents a drifting bottle. They pass through the void and rush to the cosmic sea. It is unknown who will pick it up in the future. But Suzy can pass through them. Obtain worlds and cosmic coordinates one by one. After throwing away the drift bottle, Suzy took out Wanjaquan. Wanjaquan. Type. Spring Eye. Quality. Gold. Grade 1. Function 1. Connecting to the treasure land of all worlds. Through the Spring Eye, you can obtain treasures and exercises of all heavens and all worlds. There is a certain chance of spewing out souls. Function 2. The spring water can repair the soul and heal Dao injuries. Introduction. Can cornucopia compare with me? It can eject exercises, treasures, and creatures. The spring water has the effect of healing the soul and the wounds of the Dao, which is a fatal temptation for those who cultivate in all realms. Suzy thought in his heart, and put it in front of the planetary engine. In this way, if the spiritual spring erupts all kinds of treasures, he and the people in the territory can also find out immediately. After all the buildings are installed, Suzy goes to the strange forest. What kind of exotic flowers and plants are there now, all over Shinuo? The strangely shaped plants are breathing out spiritual energy. Because of the blessing of the world tree. Even if they only absorb aura, they can still gain experience and advance. Only, it will be slower. With more than 3 million units and hero tokens, I don't know how many legendary aliens will be created. Suzy waved his hand. More than 3 million green tokens are neatly arranged in the air. Report, 55%. Chapter 20. 3 Supreme Heroes, Million Legends. Alienation. A faint light flashed in Suzy's hand, and one after another light spots shot at the token spinning in the air. Moment. More than 3 million tokens suddenly burst into dazzling light. In an instant, the surroundings seemed to have turned into an ocean of light. Green, blue, purple, gold, and the brightest 9 colors. Are any superior heroes appearing? Suzy's gaze was instantly attracted by 3 of the 9 color tokens. With a wave of his hand, 3 tokens appeared in his right hand. With a glance, information emerged. Supreme Enlightenment Tea Tree. Species, plants, quality, Supreme, Grade 1, Talent, Epiphany. Constitution, 300, Dexterity, 100, Hash, 500, Skills, Enlightenment Tea, Enlightenment plus 1, Enlightenment Source Liquid, Enlightenment plus 10, Regular Tao Body, Rule Manifestation. Introduction. Drink a cup of tea, receive the Dharma once, and teach once. The Supreme Enlightenment Tea Tree. It is another sacred tree that can enlighten the Tao, and its function is almost the same as that of the Bodhi sacred tree. Both are the top rare treasures in the world. Suzy's pupils constricted, his brows were full of joy. No matter how many such sacred trees come, I will not dislike them. Now he understands. After being promoted to a god, if you want to break through, you must understand the rules. But the rules are illusory. Many gods often comprehend a law in units of hundreds of millions of years. But his sacred tree can materialize the law. It is conceivable that his improvement speed in the future will far exceed others. Supreme Indus Sacred Tree. Species, plants, quality, Supreme. Grade 1, Talent, Consolidation, Constitution, 600. Agility, 200. Spirit, 300. Skills, no pull, there is always a glimmer of life in a desperate situation. Auspicious Rui, good things happen again and again, all wishes come true. Evening Phoenix, Summoning Phoenix. Introduction. There are sycamore trees at home, which attract golden phoenixes. There is a sycamore tree at home, which attracts golden phoenixes. This means that it can summon phoenixes. Suzy was amazed. The sycamore tree represents luck, good luck, auspicious luck, and other good luck. With her, there will be good weather, no disease and no disaster. The most important thing is its skills. Whether it is extremely good or not, even in a desperate situation, it can evolve a glimmer of life. This is a tree of luck. Suzy couldn't help admiring. If this kind of sacred tree is obtained by a lucky dynasty, it can play the role of stretching the country, and its value is invaluable. Fruit tree with no superior rules. Species, plants. Quality, Supreme. Grade 1, Talent. Rule Seed. Constitution, 500. Agility, 300. Spirit, 700. Skill. Rule Fruit. Those who condense the seeds of rules and eat the fruit will get a rule talent, develop the talent, and condense the rule Tao fruit after their death. Regular Tao fruit. Every life that eats the regular Tao fruit will be controlled by the regular fruit tree, and everything belongs to the divine tree. Introduction. Equivalent exchange. I will give you strength, and you will cultivate Tao fruit for me. Rule Fruit. After Suzy saw his skills, he couldn't help exclaiming. Feeling that the world is so big, full of wonders. The regular fruit is ripe, eat the regular Tao fruit, and then you can mass produce gods. Furthermore, anyone who eats the rule Tao fruit will be controlled by the rule God tree. Grass. If there are millions of fruit trees, wouldn't it be able to control millions of gods? Suzy anticipated the horror of regular fruit trees. When she grows up, who is still her opponent? Suzy lamented the power of every supreme hero. With a flash of light, Suzy consumes hundreds of source crystals. Summon 3 heroes. Supreme Enlightenment Tea Tree. It is several feet high, lush and green. On the pointed branches, when there is Tao, the brilliance flows, and the silk threads absorb the aura in the air, condensing the source liquid of enlightenment. Supreme Indus Sacred Tree. The whole body is red, the leaves are fan-shaped, and the thick trunk is tall and straight, towering into the sky. No parent rule fruit tree. The trunk is not high. Compared to other sacred trees, it looks a bit shorter, and the roots are like octopus tentacles, covered with winding lines. Its branches are densely packed, and each branch bears a fruit with patterns, and each fruit has a different appearance and color. 0. Seeking flowers. It is colorful and colorful. Suzy looked curiously at one of the fruits, which looked like a flame around the outside. Burning fruit. Type: regular fruit. Skills: flame elementalization, infinite high temperature. Status: immature. Introducing: burn it. Elementalization can be immune to physical attacks, and it can be developed to the extreme to comprehend the rules of fire. Infinitely high temperature, absolute temperature, enough to melt space and burn everything. This fruit is very strong. When the fruit is ripe, you will get the Tao fruit of the law of flames, but you need a developer to develop the fruit to the extreme. Su Zi murmured to himself. There are hundreds of thousands of fruits like this on regular fruit trees. Let the 3 supreme sacred trees go to Lingquan, let them get along with many heroes. Only then did Su Zi look at the more than 3 million tokens floating and spinning. 1.5 million gold quality unit tokens, 100,000 gold quality hero tokens. 1.5 million purple unit tokens, 600,000 blue and green tokens. It seems that the alienation is completely random. The vast majority of the 3.7 million tokens are gold and purple quality tokens. Good luck. However, the possibility of giving birth to a superior hero from the tokens of ordinary units is extremely low. Only if it is a legendary unit token can it be guaranteed to evolve into a supreme hero. With a big wave of his hand, Yin Shi put away all the badges of the arms. These units Su Zi have no intention of summoning. These are the arms he plans to throw into the cosmic sea, the endless world. However, if you want to summon hundreds of millions of soldiers, the number of source crystals required is not a small number. Su Zi thought to himself. He needs to find a way to make money. But these are not in a hurry. After turning 9 in the territory, he will have a lot of time. 9 revolutions in the territory, except for the source point, almost everything has been prepared. While World Tree and Money Tree can generate source points, they cannot meet the needs. It seems that we need to study the soul fighting continent carefully. We need to study the soul fighting continent carefully. We need to study the soul fighting continent carefully. We need to study the soul fighting continent carefully. We need to study the soul fighting continent carefully. We need to study the soul fighting continent carefully. We need to study the soul fighting continent.